Broadcasting from Cincinnati, you're listening to the Ringside Reporter podcast. All the news from the world of boxing right here.
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you.
Now, here's your host, Eric Lorda.
And we are live. Welcome to the Ringside Reporter podcast, where we talk about the latest boxing news. If it's related to boxing, we'll talk about it here. My name is Eric Lorta, and I'm here with my co-host, Ringside Robert, and England's adopted son, Joe Habib. And we have a great show for you today. If you want to call and ask questions, you can call in right now at 323-870-3857. We'll be here till about, maybe 9 o'clock tonight. Today, we're going to talk about Robert. It's official. Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. We'll tell you where and when. I'm excited. And let me tell you who else is excited. Beeb is overjoyed. He is elated, ecstatic, excited about the new DAZN app. His boy, Eddie Hearn. He's going to let you know how he likes it and how he feels about it. But first, we are going to get started with, on DAZN, Anthony Joshua versus Alexander Povetkin for the IBF, WBA, and WBO. What a mouthful there. Championships. Joshua defended his IBF, WBA, and WBO titles in impressive fashion on Saturday night as he knocked out Alexander Povetkin in the 7th round. Joshua had a bit of trouble with Povetkin early, man. It was a little dicey for him, man. Povetkin was better than I expected him to be. He did a good job. Povetkin did a good job of getting inside, looping punches around that were catching Joshua. Povetkin stunned Joshua in the first round with an uppercut and a left hook. Toward the end of that first round, a short left looked like it rocked Joshua in the 3rd round. But at that point, later in that round, Joshua seemed to have settled down, started using his jab. He started establishing his distance, started controlling the rhythm of the fight. The 4th round saw Anthony Joshua open up a cut over Povetkin's left eye. The end came in round number 7 as Joshua landed a left-right combination that dropped Povetkin. He beat the count. As soon as he did, Joshua pounced on him. The referee and Povetkin's corner stopped the fight. Povetkin's corner, I think the referee actually jumped in, but Povetkin's corner was on their way to the apron, so nothing they can do. Close to 80,000 people showed up and saw the fight in Wembley Stadium live. After the fight, Joshua said he wanted Wilder in April. Yeah, okay. That being said, you can almost bet the farm that it'll be a rematch with Dillian Whyte in April, a match that
I hope not.
I don't know what anybody really wants to see. I mean, wasn't it like a 7th or 8th round knockout in the first fight?
What?
6th.
Yeah, 6th round. 6th round. What unanswered questions? Why don't you answer me this? What unanswered questions do we have that we didn't get from that first fight? It was clear.
With all due respect to Dillian Whyte, the only thing that's changed about Dillian Whyte is his opposition. I mean, Cesaro's a good fighter. Joseph Parker's a good fighter, but I don't know. I think if few things didn't happen, like I thought he actually lost to Cesaro, and if Parker didn't, get that knockdown called against him that really wasn't a knockdown, then arguably you could say he would have got the victory in their fight too. So outside of those two guys, I mean, his resumes look pretty spotty after that Joshua fight, in my opinion, and he didn't look great against Pulev either. So I don't know.
Now,
it would be a complete downer if Joshua fought Whyte instead of Wilder. I mean, Wilder is the most obvious choice. If Fury, wins, the upcoming fight, then it'll be a different story. But Wilder is the most obvious choice. That's who everybody wants to see. Eddie Hearn would be a total wank if he keeps it in-house, so to speak, and fights Dillian Whyte for another easy payday.
Yeah. Actually, it wasn't Pulev. It was Helenius, I meant to say, not Pulev. I'm going to correct myself. Sorry.
So Anthony Joshua put out on Twitter, he said after the fight he was going to put a poll on Twitter, go vote. Over 50%, I think it was 52 or 54%, voted that they wanted to see Wilder next or Tyson Fury next. I think 46 were Tyson Fury, and then like 5% was Dillian Whyte. So maybe they ought to take a look at this and say, all right, maybe Dillian Whyte isn't next. Maybe we got to figure something out here. And the other thing I didn't like is that he kept saying, well, if we don't have any mandatories, well, if we don't have any mandatories, the mandatory thing came up. I don't know, like, I know, like, when you want to unify titles, that kind of gets, put to the top of the list, even above mandatories. So
not only that,
typically, organizations will say, yeah, if it's a unification, we can go ahead and do that. We'll talk about the Wilder Fury fight that has been signed later, but I'm wondering if there's a rematch clause, and I heard that there was. I don't have any.
I heard there was on both sides. Yeah, I heard there was on both sides.
And I don't know this for a fact because I did, but this is just what I heard. But and for sure we'll check it out or whatever. But if there is, Joshua might as well kiss that April date goodbye because he's not getting either one of those guys if there is a rematch clause. I don't know how he can. Especially if they have a fight or anything like that,
Oh, yeah.
And this is the thing.
You can be guaranteed if that fight's a decent fight, it turns out to be a close fight, you can almost guarantee that they both have rematch clauses on both sides.
Yeah, for sure.
For a fight like that. Yeah.
And this is the thing that bothers me is like there's no sense of urgency for Joshua. Like he basically was like trying to say that it doesn't matter who I fight. Just because just the fact that I'm fighting, that's all that matters. Just the fact that I'm defending my titles, that's all that matters. But, that's only going to last so long. I mean, you got to fight the big fights out there that people want to see. Like you should like Wilder wanted that Joshua fight. He was very adamant about it. He let people know that I want Joshua next. Like this whole attitude of Joshua, just like, oh, well, we'll see. Like acting like he doesn't care if the fight happens or not. It's not going to go away. People are going to continuously ask you when you're fighting Wilder next. And to your point about the mandatories, when you're a big name like Joshua and you're making that money that Joshua makes and you're, able to garner that much attention and revenue for your fights, sanctioning bodies are going to bend over backwards for you, just like they bent over backwards for friggin' Floyd. Yeah. How many times did they order a mandatory for Floyd? It seems as though, the only reason why really they ended up fighting Povetkin is they wanted to fight Povetkin. They mentioned it months ago when they were laying out their future. Oh, well, we'll fight Parker, then we'll fight Povetkin, and then we'll fight Wilder. Like, this was already pre-planned. It wasn't like, Eddie Hearn didn't really put up much of a fight or really make a concerted effort to try to get that Wilder fight done. Like, it's not like they tried to pay Povetkin step aside money or they tried to get an exception. They didn't care, and that's the thing. There's like, they just have this attitude like, okay, we're the A side, we're in a strong position, and it's going to be how it's going to be, how we want it, our way, and it doesn't matter who we fight. We could fight a crash test dummy, and we're just going to continue to hang around in Wembley and sell out 80,000 seat stadiums, and we're going to be happy with that, which is okay. But at the end of the day, it's only going to last so long. People are only going to pay for that so long until they start getting sick of these fights that they don't want to see against opponents that they don't care about.
Right. Now, Notorious VC in the chat said that, he said the winner of Usyk Bellew could also be a potential Joshua opponent. I agree.
That's true.
But it's not going to be, number one, it's not going to be Bellew. Those two are pretty good friends from what I understand. So that's probably not going to happen. But with Usyk or whatever, he's got to take some time. I mean, it's not going to happen in April. That's not going to be the next fight. You know what I mean? That he is definitely a potential opponent, but not next, not in April. No way. And if they do, I mean, then Eddie Hearn is just going to try to sacrifice that guy, because I don't think Usyk can beat him right now. He's got to get in there and test it out and test the waters and everything like that. So,
remember, that's a guaranteed date, April 13th in Wembley. So they've got it, and it should be Wilder. It really shouldn't be anybody else,
It should be Wilder or Fury. Honestly, it should be. I mean, but it's hard to knock Anthony Joshua. I mean, it really is. I mean, because look at his resume so far. He's fought a lot of top guys there. I mean, he really has. He's fought a lot of top guys. So,
and he did something to Alexander Povetkin that Klitschko couldn't do.
Yeah. So. And I told you, I was like, he's gonna beat him with an 8. I said he's murking him with an 8 round.
No, you were right. I thought it was gonna go rounds. I mean, that was competitive, though.
It was competitive.
That was competitive.
It was a complete blowout. It was competitive. Povetkin did, and maybe you could break this down for us, Beeb, what he did right and what he did wrong here, because Povetkin, I thought, did a really good job of stepping inside on him. Going inside, AJ wants to keep the distance with that jab, like a Lennox Lewis or something like that. He wanted to keep him that's his game. He wants to keep you at distance. Povetkin knew he was smaller. That was his chance. So he got inside on him and he looped those punches. It wasn't like he was throwing those overhand looping punches that landed and that he found some really success with. Why was Anthony Joshua not in the early going? Why was he not able to establish that distance?
Well, because Anthony Joshua, like I said before, he has a hard time gauging distance, really. When you look at guys like both Joshua and Wilder, their defense is their offense more so. And, he doesn't have a real active jab. He's very inconsistent with his jab. And a lot of times he throws it lazy. And, he got hit with a big right hand against Povetkin because Povetkin does that little dip where he tries to sell you that left hook. And as he does that dip, and he's selling you the left hook, and you're going like this, he comes over the top with the right hand. And Povetkin is really good at selling the feints, and he's good at getting low. And then you have to kind of guess what's coming at you when he comes out of that crouch, because sometimes he'll come over with a short right hand, and other times he'll come over with a half hook, half uppercut. So Povetkin's very crafty, But the thing is, we got to give Joshua credit for one thing. He really wasn't doing well on the inside. He was, when he did do well, when he did throw the jab, he was successful with it when he threw it, but he was just not consistent enough with it. And he wasn't snapping it out there all the time. But occasionally he would throw a nice jab out there, and he would throw a pretty decent, long right hand. But he had Povetkin thinking about the long game. And if you notice, the punch that got Povetkin in trouble was what? It was a short, very short, crisp, picture-perfect right hand. And that was a surprise punch because all throughout the first 6 rounds, Joshua was looking for the long game. He was looking for space. He wasn't trying to fight on the inside. And when Povetkin got on the inside, he was the guy that was moving his hands and throwing more punches. So he kind of had that element of surprise with that short right hand because he really wasn't throwing punches at that distance in the first 6 rounds. So that kind of caught Povetkin off guard. And it was just, he threw it real short, crisp, and accurate enough where it just hit him right on the button. And that one punch changed the whole fight. So we give Joshua credit for that. But the problem with Joshua is, like I said, the jab is inconsistent and it can get lazy at times because he'll throw it out there and leave it out there. And these last couple fights, Takam was landing some good right hands against him. Parker landed a good right hand that got his attention. And Povetkin actually landed a right hand and buckled him. And we saw Klitschko knock him down with a big right hand. So you have to ask yourself, if you're thinking about this Wilder fight in the future, Wilder's going to be able to land that right hand if everyone's been able to land it against him. And Wilder is knocking guys down and hurting guys, grazing people with that right hand. So what if he lands as flush as those other guys? It's going to be a problem. It's really going to be a problem. So both guys have holes defensively, but the difference is, we got to give credit for Joshua because he gets hurt and he comes back, but can he come back against the power of Wilder? So you can argue both guys will be in there with the hardest hitter that each other has faced, but Wilder just has that freakish power. Like Joshua, has power, but Wilder has that one hitter quitter power. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But Povetkin he just got hit with the perfect punch, and he wasn't expecting it, and he wasn't prepared for the for a punch like that because all fight, Joshua wasn't fighting him, wasn't throwing punches, on the inside well. He kept trying to, back up and create space. He wasn't really trying to fight him on the inside. He wasn't even holding him. He would try to throw punches on the inside, but they weren't really landing. They were kind of like clubbing punches. He wasn't really throwing short, straight punches and coming up underneath with punches on the inside. He was throwing looping shots, trying to get around the guard of Povetkin, because Povetkin has that high guard. And then also Povetkin dropped his hands. He made that one mistake at that moment too. So, Povetkin fought a good fight. Joshua fought a not so good fight, but that one punch changed everything. And you got to give him credit for stepping to him and landing that one punch. And that's the thing about Joshua. Out of nowhere, we saw him do it with that uppercut with Klitschko out of nowhere. Saw him do it with Dillian Whyte, that left hook out of nowhere. He has that one punch that you're just not ready for, and he just has that surprise effect along with the power. And the beautiful thing about him is him having the ability to really change up, the trajectory of those punches, being able to shorten them up, being able to kind of, come up underneath and just throw these little short, crisp punches where he's not really telegraphing like Wilder telegraphs a lot of those bombs. Whereas everything from Joshua is kind of compact and tight. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to really see those punches coming. So I don't know. I thought it was a good fight while it lasted. I actually had Povetkin up 4-2. You could argue that it was 3-3. I thought Povetkin was in that fight. I thought he was in that fight, and I thought it was going to be a tough night for Joshua. But I was wrong. I mean, that one punch changed everything, and it was good night, Irene, after that, baby.
And Joshua has that power, and he's got that, he's got that right hand. He's got the big power too. But one thing I don't think Joshua gets a lot of credit for is changing up in the fight, is making those adjustments during the fight.
Making adjustments.
The fact that he was beating Klitschko, and then all of a sudden tide turns, and then all of a sudden Klitschko's beating him, and then he changes strategy. He makes the adjustments. His corner makes the adjustments. Next thing you know, he's winning the fight. And just like here, I think Povetkin was kind of imposing his will on the early going. He was winning that, he was winning early rounds, or he won a couple of early rounds anyway. And I thought I gave him, I think 1 and 3. I think I gave him. I gave 2, 4, and 5, 5 and 6 to Joshua. I think I had him up 4-2. I had
Judges had him up 4-2 too.
Yeah,
one judge had him up 5-1, but
yeah, I think.
And Povetkin broke Joshua's nose too.
So. Oh, we don't know if he broke it, but he blooded it
up in the first round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is with Joshua though, and in this fight, he had to overcome some obstacles, and he has ways to do that. And it's not just one big right hand. He makes those adjustments, whereas like, with Wilder or whatever, when I hear about Wilder, it's like he has only one way to win, and I don't care what
that's the way it looks.
And you know what? I don't care what anybody says. Ortiz was winning that fight. And I know where the judges were going with that. I understand Ortiz was not going to win that fight any way possible. But I mean,
he was losing that fight though, Wilder. Was losing that fight.
I thought he was losing the Gerald Washington fight up until the time of the knockdown. It's just, my thing with Anthony Joshua, if you talk about these two, and you're not going to be able to mention one without the other unless Tyson Fury beats Wilder. I just think that when you look at it, Anthony Joshua is just definitely the more rounded fighter of the two. He's
more versatile offensively.
Absolutely.
There's no question about it. He throws him. He just has a wider array of punches that he can throw.
Right.
But he always seems to get hit with that right hand though, Eric, and he gets buzzed by it, and that's what troubles me. But
big thing is that right hand he gets clipped.
Yeah.
And that's Wilder's Sunday punch right there.
If
Wilder
hits Joshua, the question is, can he survive?
No,
that's what I mean.
Hits Wilder, can he survive? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big shot too.
Yeah, and here's another thing that really aggravates me about when fans try to denigrate these fighters, say they have no heart. Like, okay, we want this Wilder fight as boxing fans. We want it bad. But, you have Wilder fans calling Joshua a coward, a ducker, and this. And you could be upset about the fight not happening. You can choose to blame a side if you want. But when you look at a guy who's in there and who's been hurt before, has faced adversity, right? And in certain situations, particularly, most certainly, he looked like he was out of there in that Klitschko fight. And when you got a guy that can suck it up and come back, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, man. That person is not a coward. That person is not a weak-minded individual. You can't question the heart of a person that comes back from a situation like he did in Klitschko, and also in the Povetkin fight, where when he was rocked, his nose is bloody. Things aren't looking good for him, and for him to be able to get his composure and settle down and turn it all around like that, that's a mentally strong person. That's the farthest from a coward you're ever going to see, because 9 out of 10 people put in those situations, we want to check out. The most subtle sign of discomfort that a human being feels, he wants to stop. Guys like that who are under duress, who are being hurt, blood's gushing out of their nose, they don't know if their nose is broken or not. They can't breathe because they know that the blood's going in their mouth. And they have the heart and the intestinal fortitude to be able to switch up and make those adjustments and block everything out. That's not a coward, man. That's just, no one's going to tell me that that's a coward.
Yeah. I mean, there's, it's funny because you see a lot of that where people, just trash somebody for getting knocked out or trash somebody, but like 99.9% of those people have never been in there, have never taken a punch, have never, so it's easy to sit on the outside and do that. And, I don't know. Tommy Boxeo tweeted last night, tweeted to us. So with the fight over, who do you think won the story of the fight?
Oh, God. Povetkin won the story of the fight,
right?
But he got his ass knocked out. Right? Didn't he?
And a big shout out to Tommy Boxeo, because Tommy Boxeo sends me news. Him and Jason send me news every day, so they give me my fill for the show on the weekend. So I appreciate that, both of you guys.
Yeah.
So thank you guys.
Gonna have to unblock Jason on Facebook if he can behave.
I wouldn't go that far with it.
Well, and the thing you could pick on Jason about now, remember his big support of Premier Boxing Champions is all fights are free. Well, guess what? Starting December 1st, all fights are not free anymore. So Al Heyman and company can no longer make that claim.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I'll tell you what, I heard that and nothing's official yet, but I mean, that's a pay-per-view caliber fight. I mean, you can't hate on that fight, man.
Yes,
that's a good fight. I'm
not saying it's not, but that's been one of Jason's main defenses over the years. Well, guess what? That's taken away now. So
yeah. Well, we'll see. All right. So let's see here. Beeb, it's time.
Okay. Did you just say something to me, Eric?
Yes, Beeb, it's time.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, okay. All right. Because I had something in the background. All right. Oh. Check it. Shoot.
Okay.
Jesus.
That was the best ever.
Jesus, that was awful.
Where's Elena or Brianna when you need them?
Yeah, I tell you what, that was terrible. That makes me want to kill puppies. That was awful. That was seriously the best you could do.
It was a rough week.
I'd rather listen to a family member beg for their life before being shot than to listen to that again. That was awful. That was awful.
Oh, God.
It makes me not even want to go on with the show. It was that bad. Jesus.
Oh, God.
All right. So the train wreck of the week is the DAZN app. Let me tell you what, the app, listen, we knew all the hype coming in. We've heard it from Canada and on Twitter. There's a what is there a hash? What is it? At DAZN sucks or something like that?
Yeah, at DAZN sucks.
Yeah, and you've heard all that. But the thing is, you gotta experience it for yourself, because if we just rely on other people and you don't experience it, well, how do you know you don't like it? How do you know it's bad? I'm here to tell you, it sucks. It's really bad. The stream cuts out from a good picture to a lousy picture and does this several times during the course of a fight. All right. Once you get the good picture, though, it's actually pretty good. It was in HD and everything like that, but you don't know how long it's going to stay on. Sometimes it just buffers, pixelates.
It pixelates too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It pixelates.
Horrible.
The other thing is, man, I couldn't get this to work on Apple TV. I downloaded the app and tried to run it. It says, no, you can't do it. No way, you know. And I do the same thing on Xbox, and same thing there. I couldn't get it to work on Xbox either. So I downloaded it to my computer. I went to the website, got it on my computer, and then try to do the AirPlay, because I got a Mac and I have Apple TV. So I try to do an AirPlay to the Apple TV. It shows up on my computer, freezes as soon as I try to do the AirPlay. Will not show up on the TV at all. So I was forced to watch it on my computer, which I got a nice computer. I'm not going to lie. It's great, but I'd rather watch it on my big TV. You know, if this app was just a few dollars, if it was just like $3 a month or something like that, I might overlook it. You know, I might say, all right, I gotcha. But for $10 a month, it's complete garbage. Now, I did some research on this. The WWE app. My son, he watches WWE constantly. So anytime there's a pay-per-view or what, he's always watching it, put it that way. Now, I did some research on that because it's kind of a similar, you know, they're all kind of similar things. So, but when the WWE app came out, that it was bad, that it was like, it was always buffering and that kind of thing. But they got it fixed, from what I understand, in pretty short order, like over a period of a month or two. And then it was fine. And now they've got enough support on it to, you know, actually do that. I don't understand why the zone is still this bad. It's been around for a while. This is not like, you know, anything. I mean, and it's in Canada, and they've got that whole, I mean, it's terrible. Beeb, what was your experience with it?
Well, here's the thing. I was able to Chromecast it when I first downloaded it. Okay. I Chromecasted it, and I was watching Bellator on Friday night, this past Friday night. Thing kept buffering. The thing kept freezing. The thing kept pixelating, and the sound would go in and out. And, you know, what I think the problem is I think you mentioned this, it's the bandwidth. Because it's so funny. Certain people from certain countries were like, hey, I don't have a problem with it. But a lot of people from Canada, a lot of people from the United States, they complain about it. And the reason why I think that happens is because the more people who are on it and the more bandwidth is getting used, I don't think they have the capabilities to handle all that. That's the problem. That's what I see as being an issue. So that like, it's so funny too, because when I was watching the fight, the card yesterday, it was great, and it didn't really start acting up until the Joshua fight came on. So then I put 2 and 2 together, and I'm saying the more people who are on this app at once using it, the worse it is. So I don't think they are able to handle the bandwidth, the high bandwidth, and that's the problem. So that's the issue.
You know, that may be too, but this has been going on. This isn't like this is the first time at the dance, man. I mean,
no, they should have fixed it.
Country should have fixed it. Complaining about this thing, you know.
And you got people from Switzerland telling me, "Oh, I have no problem." Yeah, but I mean, no disrespect, but you're living in a smaller country. Probably it's different there. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, you kind of wonder about that, man. And so what? I mean, $10 is too much for this app. I don't think there's any question about that. $10 is too much for the app. But you know, what do we do here? The Super Series is going to be on there. I mean, they got a lot of fights, and I mean, do people get this app or no? I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, man. I really don't. I'm probably going to continue to watch it. But you know what? Beeb hit it right on the head. You know, it reminds you of one of those streams you pick up when you're watching a fight, one of the one of the pay-per-view streams when you don't happen to pay for it, and you find it on Twitter and you go get it there and you're watching the fight. It's not like that's what it reminds you of, because you got to keeps buffering. You may have to reset it. You may have to go out and come back in. You may have to refresh. I mean, there's a lot of it's not that good, man. I mean, not ESPN Plus is much better and cheaper.
Much better. Yeah. Way better. But my question is this, though, Eric. If this is the same quality as an illegal stream, then I'm saying to myself, I might as well just freaking illegally stream the fight then instead of paying for this. But the one plus to this, though, is once the event's over, it's archived and you get to watch it again.
Yeah.
So that's a plus. That's a plus. So say you didn't catch the fight last night, you can watch it today. That's a plus.
Yeah,
that's a plus.
And sometimes I tell you, and it's it's kind of a dicey situation because, if you go to catch a stream that you shouldn't be watching, sometimes you can find it, sometimes you can't. So it's always a crapshoot. So you got to be prepared to say, hey, I may not be able to watch this fight. So, that's kind of what you have to do. I don't know. But yeah, I'm not really impressed with it. And honestly, I don't see it getting any better. If the entire country of Canada came out with this and they know the deal, and Jason was telling me, he was reading on there that like some of the support things or whatever would just say, well, you need to upgrade your internet connection. Trust me, son, we got no problems with our internet connection.
No.
It's business class internet. You're not getting any problems.
I got the blast pack.
Right.
I got blast. I'm getting 150 megs download.
Yeah. That's why we get these high packages. Pay crazy prices for this, so we can stream things. And I know,
Yeah, and I know people like to give me shit sometimes about my internet, but I live in when you live in a high residential area and you're on the internet at certain times, this is what happens when you're from the city. I mean, I'm not like Jason who lives in freaking Okanokie, Georgia. I mean, where 10 people have internet. I mean, I'm in the city, man. I'm in a highly residential area, and if I'm on at peak time, sometimes things are going to happen.
Yeah.
I live in a condo building. There's a lot of people in this building, so it's tough.
Let me tell you, the only man who can solve this, the only one who can solve this is Wingy, because Wingy has a direct connection to Eddie Hearn. Wingy, I know you're listening. I know you're going to listen. Listen, this is on you, nobody else. You. I lay this problem down at your doorstep. It is up to you to take it to Eddie Hearn. It is up to you to get this fixed. This is now on your doorstep. Go ahead, Robert.
And meanwhile, Anthony Joshua gave up Showtime to be on this.
Oh, I was saying the same thing.
Wow, yeah, right.
It would have been
what a dumb move that was.
It would have been perfectly fine yesterday had this fight been on Showtime, people. I mean, are people going to have to watch Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua on DAZN? Are people going to have to watch Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua on DAZN? This is the heavyweight champion of the world, and he wasn't on TV yesterday. That to me, that's a crime. That's a crime.
Well, yes and no. I mean, this is gonna be the way it's gonna go. I really believe that. I believe that this is the way it's gonna go, and that's fine. But at least give us a good stream. At least give us something.
Yeah, we need a good stream.
On the undercard, Yvonne Mendy versus Luke Campbell. Luke Campbell wins a unanimous decision over Yvonne Mendy by the scores of 119-109, 118-111, 116-112. Very uneventful fight. David Price versus Sergey Kuzmin. Price retired after 4 rounds against Kuzmin. Price gave the excuse that he tore a bicep. He actually said he came in with a torn bicep. True or not, it's a wrap for David Price, son. He's pretty much done.
Why in the fuck would you, excuse my language, would you take a fight with a torn bicep? Why?
For the cash.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, right.
That's like taking a fight with 2 broken hands. Like, you're damaged like that. Why would you take the fight?
I mean, look at Pacquiao. Look at how much money he suckered out of us because of his shoulder. Okay.
Yep.
I know people were pissed. People wanted to sue Pacquiao for that.
I think they did, but I mean, I don't think the lawsuit went anywhere. But yeah,
no, it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, a lot of people filed suits. I would have loved.
Imagine people who bet on Pacquiao finding out he was injured.
Yeah,
and he didn't reveal it.
Can you imagine?
What the Oh my God.
Lawrence Okoli was also on the undercard here, and he got 3 points taken away from him in just a lousy fight. He ended up winning. He ended up winning the fight, but it was he better go back to the drawing board. Listen, I'm not saying the other guy wasn't tough or he wasn't, but Lawrence Okoli really, for all the hype and everything, he's got 6 pro fights. Maybe they're pushing him a little bit too fast. I don't know, but he didn't look good, so they're gonna have to go back to the drawing board with that guy. In Germany, Jack Colquet versus Rafael Bergeron. Colquet scores a 10th round TKO over Bergeron, and Tyrone Zouge versus Czech Daum. I don't know. And it doesn't matter because you'll never hear that guy again because Zouge scored an 8th round KO over him, and that was pretty much it, man. Pretty much it. You'll never hear from that guy again. So because we didn't hear from him the first time, All right, so let's talk about the upcoming fights here coming up. Let's see what we got. Some big stuff coming up. As soon as I can find it. September 28th. Robert, you're my savant. What day is that? Friday. On ESPN Plus from Oakland, California. Jose Uzcategui versus Ezekiel Maderna, 10 rounds, light heavyweights. And one of my favorite fighters out there now, Jerwin Anacajas versus Alejandro Santiago, 12 rounds for Anacajas' IBF junior bantamweight title. And if you haven't seen Anacajas fight, tune in, man, because he's a very good fighter. On Showtime that same day from Temecula, California, Devin Haney versus Juan Carlos Burgos, 10 rounds lightweights, and that'll be on Showtime. And then from Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, the World Boxing Super Series final. George Groves versus Callum Smith, 12 rounds for Groves' WBA super middleweight title. Let me double check this and make sure it's on. Yeah, September 28th is Friday, right?
Yep.
And all that is going to be on Friday. That's what it's listed as on Friday. Okay. So George Groves, Callum Smith. I'm imagining this is going to be on DAZN. I believe it'll be on DAZN.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. Yes.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that in just a second. Chris Eubank Jr. will face J.J. McDonough, 10-round super middleweights in a showcase fight. Let's see what else is there. September 29th at Indio, California, Robbie's stomping grounds on Facebook Watch. Jorge Linares versus Abner Cotto, 12 rounds junior welterweights. At Los Cabos, Mexico on BN Sports. Jose Carlos Paz versus Jorge Paez Jr. Yes, Paez Jr. is still around. Rematch, 10 rounds, they're middleweights. I can't believe Paez Jr. is still fighting.
I know.
I can't believe it either.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's crazy.
And then let's see, and that is it for next week.
Well, then Sunday we have John Molina and Victor Ortiz, Eric.
I've got that listed as, you know what? You're right. That is my fault. And I looked at it and I was like, no, that's the week after because today's the 23rd.
It's
that crazy. A Sunday fight. That's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah. So on Fox Sports 1 from Ontario, California, Victor Ortiz versus John Molina Jr., 12 rounds welterweights. Brandon Figueroa versus Oscar Escandon, 10 rounds featherweights. Joe Joyce, look at that, versus Iago Kaladze, 8 rounds heavyweights. Surprised to see Joe Joyce on that card. Carlos Balderas versus the dreaded TBA. And James DeGale is listed on there versus the dreaded TBA, 8 rounds light heavyweights. Go figure that one out, right?
Now, why in the world would James DeGale, who is a former super middleweight champion at 168, take an 8-round fight at 175? 8 rounds for James DeGale? Are you really?
Yeah. Right?
Okay. I don't get that.
Does anybody want to see the Victor Ortiz fight?
No, not really. Loser leaves town.
Yeah.
You don't think that's going to be?
No.
It'll be exciting, Beeb, for as long as it lasts.
All right, let's see here. So
somebody's going to sleep.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, so let's talk about this George Groves Callum Smith fight for Groves WBA super middleweight title, and for the World Boxing Super Series, the Ali Trophy. Robert, who wins and why?
I'm going with Sir George Groves nowadays. I think Groves will take the title.
Well, he's already the champion, so he'll just retain.
Yeah,
but he'll be the title of World Boxing.
He'll defend the title, and he'll get the trophy.
There it is. I like George Groves too, man. He did a number on Chris Eubank Jr., man. He really did, and he really impressed me. I'm gonna roll with George Groves. B.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Groves too, because he was originally my pick, but I am concerned about the shoulder. I'm a little nervous about the shoulder. I hope it's 100% because it's a serious injury if it's not. But I don't think he'd be taking the fight if he didn't feel as though he could fight. So I'm gonna go with George Groves. I think George Groves is a little craftier. I think he really knows how to make adjustments, give you different looks. Whereas Callum Smith, I think, is somewhat predictable at times and can be repetitious in his attacks. Good jab, but sometimes he doesn't really throw enough punches. Sometimes he poses after he throws punches. So I think the opportunities will be there for Groves, and I think Groves should win a unanimous decision there. Hopefully, if that shoulder is not injured.
Yeah, I think so too. All right, there you go. So, and I know we got a free month on DAZN, but Beeb, let me ask you, if the fight was not on, if you were out of your trial period on DAZN, would you pay for this fight? Would you buy DAZN and pay for this fight?
Everything.
Wow, you said Beeb was degenerate. How dare you?
I'm in.
Wow.
It's a dilemma for me, and I'll tell you why. Because I want to see the Super Series fights. I want to see, Billy Joe Saunders versus Demetrius Andrade. Yeah. And I'm going to want to see some future UK fights, too. And you know as well as I do, sometimes it's a pain in the ass trying to hunt down these streams. And
I hear you.
A lot of times, as bad as the zone is, sometimes these streams just shut off completely and you can't even watch them.
Right.
So
we're degenerates.
I'm gonna have to.
You could say.
I'm gonna have to think about it because I'm gonna want to watch Bellew. I want to see Bellew Usyk too.
Friend of the show, Tony Bellew.
There's too many fights that I really want to see. So they kind of got me by the. I'm actually mad. I'm mad that they got me. They're preying on my weakness of being addicted to fights.
That's right. That's right.
It's like I hate to use this. I hate to use this analogy. But you know what they're doing?
Yep.
They're lacing my crack, man. They're lacing my crack. They know I got an addiction, and they're lacing my crack. I don't like it. But what can I do?
He's sick. He just needs a little bit, man, to get him through the day.
My fix.
He
need my fix.
Rehab, man. Gotta go to boxing rehab.
So he's got to go dry out, son. You got to go dry out, son. I don't care. I'm right there with you. I'm buying it too. All right.
I know. Yeah.
Now, what about you, man? You're the big holdout here. You're the big holdout. You don't got ESPN Plus. You got an iPhone. Beeb and I were all excited. Robbie's got an iPhone. He's coming into the century.
I'm not paying for things that freeze, man. Sorry.
How dare you?
Not gonna do it.
Wow. All right. News and rumors real quick, and then we're gonna go to the phones. Fury and Wilder is official. It is absolutely official. Robert, it has been announced for December 1st. And this is supposedly will take place at the Staples Center or Mandalay Bay. Now, you said the Staples Center. You heard something, I guess you said the Staples Center?
Yeah, it'll definitely be at the Staples Center. Vegas and Barclays are full. This is going to be at the Staples Center. You got to come to California, son, to see that. You got to see that big heavyweight battle. The winner fights Joshua, and I don't know what happens to the loser.
Wow. Hey, I can get you in there, man. If you want to go, it's in your neck of the woods, man. I can put you right there, front row, center seat. All right. So let me ask you, Robert. I like the fight. Do you like the fight? I mean, do you think it's competitive?
Yes, I do. I'm paying for it. I like it.
All right. Yeah, I'm paying for it too. How much, because Heyman hates the pay-per-view model. How much do you think this fight is?
If I had to guess, I would start at $75, and don't be surprised if they copy the Triple G Canelo thing and go 85.
Really? You think it'll be that much?
Yeah, because they're going to want to show Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua, look at how many pay-per-view buys we can get in the United States.
I don't know, man. I think they could drop the price. I think it could go back to the old price, like 55 or 54.95. You know how they did that? It would not shock me.
I hope they do, but this is a heavyweight championship fight, so I expect them to gouge us.
Yeah.
Am I wrong here or what?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. And you know what? What have you heard? Have you heard anything for the undercards? Because I'm hearing a bunch of rumors. We heard that Gary Russell could be on the undercard. Abner Mars could be on the undercard. Keith Thurman, I've even heard being tossed around. Jared Hurd. There's been a bunch of like names for the undercards. Do you think that they have to?
All I've heard, Eric, is they want to stack the undercard, and that's why I feel like the price will be higher than what I expect. I agree with you. I'd like to see it lower, but if they stack the undercard with name fighters, even if they fight nobodies, people are gonna see those names and okay, we'll buy it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that it could be one of those cards that they would like that they would stack almost like a Don King type card. Because if anybody, I'll tell you right now, if anybody has the ability to do it, it's them, because they got all the fighters there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Once again, Showtime will show HBO, look, this is how you do boxing.
Right. So, Beeb, let me ask you, what are your thoughts on the Fury Wilder card? It looks like it's going to take place in Staples. What are your thoughts on this? Is this a competitive fight? Is this a walkover? And we were talking a little bit about the undercard. I heard there's going to be some big names on that undercard, like Gary Russell, Abner Morris, a lot of,
Tank Davis.
Yeah, I've heard Tank
Davis, Abner Morris.
But nothing is official yet. The only thing official is Fury Wilder. What are your thoughts on this?
Seems like they're trying to put together a good show. I heard also, but again, I can't confirm this. I also heard that the pay-per-view price is going to be cheaper than normal. It's not going to be like the normal 85 or we've seen some of these.
I hope so.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen some of these other pay-per-views that were like 100, but maybe they're realizing it's close to Christmas and stuff like that. So
December 1st, yeah.
I'm kind of glad that the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight isn't going to happen now. Not at least in December. It's going to happen. Probably going to happen maybe next year, possibly. I'm thinking, because Mayweather did say he wanted a tune-up. But I'm excited about the card. I think they're going to put together a good one, from what I hear. And if it's priced properly, hopefully this thing can do well. I mean, is this fight going to be competitive? I'll repeat what I said before. If Gerald Washington can be up in rounds versus Deontay Wilder and be outboxing him, if Luis Ortiz, who else was beating him too? That a couple of guys. Who's the other guy there that he knocked out there?
Wasn't Spilka beating him also?
Spilka, yeah, sorry. Thank you, Robbie. Spilka was beating him. If all these guys can have success against him and be outboxing him, then I think, Tyson Fury can have some success too. And maybe he'll do better than a lot of people are anticipating. But at the end of the day, we still have to favor Wilder. I mean, he still has that eraser. Fury has been out. Did look better in his last fight, but he's crafty. He's awkward. He's tall and lanky. Can he stay away from the right hand? Let's just say this: the fight could be interesting for about 9 or 10 rounds, but we can, in the back of our minds, probably suspect that Wilder would probably get a late stoppage in this fight. I think that's going to be my pick. I don't know what your pick's going to be. But I'm hoping I'm wrong, because I'm a huge Fury fan. I thought he did awesome against Klitschko. And I thought that was a great fight, and I was one of the few people that predicted he would win that fight. But yeah, it could be competitive, but it's hard to see this version of Fury beating Deontay Wilder right now.
I don't know, man. Like I said, I think that Fury's got more ways to win. He
does. He does.
He's got to, he's not going to be able to outbox him. Or Wilder's not going to be able to outbox him.
Yeah.
And hopefully, I tell you what, but I would like to see him. I would like to see Breland and him go back to that jab that he won the first Stavern fight on. That was the best version of Wilder I've seen. The way he boxed Stavern, the way he picked his shots, power shots. I mean, I thought he did. I thought he did really well in that fight, man.
Yeah.
Now, what's gonna be unusual for Wilder here? Wilder is normally the bigger guy when he comes into the ring. This time he's got somebody with an 85-inch reach and at least 2 or 3 inches taller than he is. It'll be interesting to see how he deals with somebody that has such a long reach and can move so well.
Yeah, it will be, and maybe it won't be. I mean, you remember when Lennox Lewis fought Michael Grant? They were both the same size, and that was being billed as two giants. And Lennox Lewis had never really fought anybody his own size.
Michael Grant was not on the level of Lennox Lewis.
I get that. I mean, I definitely get that. But it really, I don't think it made too much of a difference. It might have been actually easier for him. I don't know.
Yeah.
But again, yeah, to your point, yeah, Michael Grant was, no Lennox Lewis. So, and they definitely rushed him in that fight.
So
all right.
And, I
what's the
wish
pick?
Fury actually had more fights going into this fight.
Yeah. I don't know. And you know what? I think the two tune-up fights, he looked good in his last fight. And he's continuing to drop weight and everything like that. I think he's ready. It's now or never.
So what's the official pick, Eric?
Okay.
For me right now, I like Fury. Like I said, man, I think he has more ways to win.
Wow, you're picking Fury.
Yeah. Right now.
I may change my pick now. You're making me pumped up now. I'll be rooting for Fury. I'm gonna have to change my pick. If y'all going for Fury, I know.
I'll tell you, man. Like I said, he's a superior boxer, and he's never been in there with a boxer quite like that moves like that. Ortiz was a good boxer. Ortiz got tired out. Ortiz is older. I don't anticipate Fury can go like that all night, and we'll see, man. But I'll tell you, Wilder can go all night too. Wilder's in great shape. That's one thing that, to me, that always gets overlooked when you talk about Deontay Wilder is nobody mentions how good a shape he's in. He is in tremendous shape. And he doesn't have a lot, he's a lighter heavyweight. Yes.
Speaking of shape, how did Joshua look at 246 yesterday?
Like a gorilla.
242. Wasn't it 242?
Like gorilla. Yeah, he's big. There wasn't any fat on that guy, man. Yeah, he wasn't. I mean, he's muscled up. He looks like a gorilla. He looks like a weightlifter. To me, I thought he was too big. I think he needs to go down to the 230s to get faster, maybe lean out a little bit, but 240, I mean, I don't know. I mean, he looked good. Hey, he looked good. Okay. Povetkin, and I thought Povetkin looked all right too. I mean, he looked a little pudgy. He looked a little soft to me, but that's how Povetkin always looks. But he did a great job in that fight too. So
okay.
Can't really take too much away from him. So yeah, man, it'll be good. Let's see here, Larry. Let's go to the phones.
He's a fucking mental case, is what he is.
Robert.
PPPC. PPPC.
Hopefully, Beeb and Eric giving me some credit about telling you assholes that dishonest
PPPC. PPPC.
Well, okay, well.
PBC. At least mention that to the fucking fans that are listening.
PBC.
PBC. I don't care in the chat or on the fucking call telling you morons that it was trash. I don't remember that. It was only me, and I got called a fucking PBC homer and a fucking Eddie hater when I told you assholes 6 months ago.
Yeah, but in all fairness, you didn't experience anything. You're just relying on hearsay. Beeb and I experienced it.
What? I wasn't relying on hearsay. I was relying on customer complaints. You moron.
That's called hearsay because you didn't experience yourself. That's called hearsay.
That's customer feedback.
How can you do a review on something if you've never tried it?
Right.
Hey, buddy.
That's like you saying the food sucks at the restaurant up the street. How do you know? Have you ever eaten there?
Now
No.
is not the time for your retarded ass jokes. Now is the time for you to eat crow, Beeb. Stop with your stupid ass
There's
jokes.
there's no jokes.
What are you talking about, jokes?
No, I've been told by numerous people.
The only joke here is your commentary.
He was the only one that would agree with me. Robbie was the only one that co-signed me when.
What does Robbie know about it? He doesn't have it either.
If you worked for Amazon and they hired you to do reviews, and you didn't try the products that they asked you to do reviews on, you would not be able to do a review on the product, son.
Right.
Beeb, what are you talking about? How about eating some crow? Forget all that dumb shit.
What does he have to eat crow for?
Why am I going to eat crow? I never said the app was going to be good. I'm a loser. I buy everything. It doesn't matter.
I'm not blaming you to buy. I'm not blaming you for buying it. I'm just saying I told you guys.
I didn't buy it yet. I'm going to be a loser next month when the free trial ends. I'm not a full-blown loser yet.
Go to Google and do DirecTV sucks and see all the people that can't stand DirecTV. Or I can do a thing that says Comcast sucks. All right. But the thing is, I don't have Comcast, so I don't have a dog in that fight. I can't just tell everybody.
Go on Google right now and type in Verizon sucks. There's actually a website.
Right.
So what's that mean? Everyone that has Verizon is going to freaking cancel their plan?
For you, maybe I got a better internet than anybody else, and it works great for me. Who knows? You don't know until you try it.
And plus, also, some people have lower standards than others. Maybe some people like pixelation. You don't know that.
That's right. Very true. Very true.
That's a nice way to save face, being a dummy. I told you so. But anyway, Robbie,
did you watch the fight? Did you watch the fight?
Did you watch the fight?
30 great.
Did you watch the fight? Did you watch the fight?
Well,
did you watch the fight?
I just want to point out, Jason, in the new deal with Showtime, they've got multiple pay-per-views forecasted.
Well,
so
I think that's good because
you can no longer talk about how PBC is free.
That was your claim to fame too.
It is free. Majority
that was your claim to fame. How free PBC was.
Get
out the checkbook. Get out the credit card. You're getting pay-per-view, baby. Get out the credit card.
Those fights are not pay-per-view.
Yeah, but they're going to be pay-per-view now, son. That's the point.
Yeah,
so not all of them.
That's the point,
but
son.
I thought Thurman versus Porter should have been pay-per-view. They just
you wanted to pay for that?
That fight for free.
You wanted to pay for that?
I would pay for it. I would pay for it.
Because you're a homer, son.
Here's the big thing. Now, since you're such a PBC guy, are you going to pay money December 1st to watch Fury and Wilder?
Why wouldn't I? If I can pay for Canelo Chavez or Canelo Angulo, why the fuck wouldn't I pay for Fury Wilder? What kind of dumb question is that, Robbie?
Well,
because you're always on him about being free.
Yeah,
I have never called here and said I like PBC because it's free. I mean, I like
pretty sure you have
the best fights, the best matchups, the best talent. What kind of shit is this? And also, Robbie, let me talk real quick. Relax, Robbie. You're a fucking mentor. Steve Kim used to bash PBC for saying they're giving us free fights. Now, since ESPN is giving us free fights, now everything is about free fights. Have you noticed that change, Robbie?
First of all, Robbie's been watching the sport of boxing for 40 years. He doesn't need a mentor.
Remember how they used to bash him for saying they're giving free fights? Now everything is free. Now everything's great because of PBC. Before PBC used to get bashed, they're like, oh, who cares about free boxing? We want better production. We want HBO. We want Showtime. Now HBO is not even in boxing. That's primarily because of PBC. And Top Rank leaving HBO. So, PBC deserves a lot more credit than you guys give him. You guys are just trying to use this fucking talking point about not free. They're just giving the best fights. And
listen,
now put Wilder for your own pay-per-view.
Listen, I could care less.
With that? I don't see it.
I could care less if the fight is pay-per-view or not.
I don't have a problem with the fight being on pay-per-view. But for
I
all
call
the
every week. When was the last time I said PBC is great because they give free fights? Can you tell me? When was the last time? I haven't said that. I don't know ever.
We kind of forget your conversations after you call.
Month to month. What?
I said we kind of forget your conversations after you call. It's not like we have like a catalog of things you say and we remember them. You know.
But I don't like PBC because it's free. I mean, most of the PBC great fights are on Showtime. I pay monthly for Showtime, like $10, like DAZN. So I mean.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would agree with that. Yeah, because Showtime's not free.
$120 a year. That's like $120 a year, right? That's like 2 pay-per-views a year.
What do you pay $10 a month for? I thought it was like $15 a month for Showtime.
Yeah, I think we pay 15, Eric, don't we?
Yeah, I only pay $5 a month with Dish on HBO. $5 a month for HBO.
It's like 12. It's cheaper with Comcast, Eric. It's only like $12 with Comcast. 12, 13 bucks.
Oh,
yeah. I hate to say DirecTV overcharge. When DirecTV they charge extra for these channels because they get charged extra.
One at a time, Jason. One at a time. All right, Jason. What did you have to say now?
Did you guys hear Comcast bought Sky last night?
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah, but we don't know what that means.
$39 billion they've outbid Fox.
Yeah, but I don't really know what that means, to be honest with you.
Going to have the UK fights now.
Well, I don't know that. That's the point. I don't know if they're going to have Sky TV on Comcast. That's the thing. Just because they bought Comcast doesn't mean
that doesn't mean that.
Right. Just because they got Comcast doesn't mean we're going to see those Sky TV.
Well, they have the BBC channel in Comcast.
Comcast slave now. That's all.
So,
hey, I didn't. I kind of felt like AJ Styles started slowly on purpose. I forgot to talk about the fight, but I thought he kind of started slowly.
Did you watch it?
He wanted to make
watch it?
Did you watch the fight?
He wanted more. He wanted more credit for beating a 40-year-old. That's all.
Son. Did you watch the fight?
Oh, we answer the question. Did you watch the fight?
What was there to watch? It was fucking boring.
He didn't watch it. Did
you watch the fight? So now you read an article and you went on Twitter and listened to people talk. And you're recapping it secondhand. You can't do that.
What are you talking about? I watched the fight like 2 times already. Shut up.
Where did you watch it at?
The fight is all over YouTube.
Where'd you watch it? You get the zone?
You watched it on the zone. Son, you know you
Sky broadcast on YouTube. And what's the big deal? Everybody watches on YouTube.
It wasn't on YouTube.
I mean, it was a way better feed than the DAZN trash. I got it on HD, 720 HD, dude. I don't want that DAZN crap.
First of all, 720 is not full HD.
The worst part, Beeb, it probably was better than DAZN.
Probably was.
Yeah,
probably was.
Kept buffering too. Where did you watch it, Robbie?
The VIP box.
No, I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I said if I was going to watch it, I'd much rather watch it on Sky.
Well, watch it on YouTube.
That's where I get all my stuff too. That's where I get VIP box is where I get all mine too.
Also, don't forget about that Sunday edition of PBC, man. Get your Coronas ready. Molina Ortiz, they're gonna have some stacked fights.
Yeah, which means it's going to be a very short show next week. We want to watch the fights.
What time is the show? Like 7 to 10 or something? What is it?
I don't know.
I don't know what time. I haven't been able to look ahead to see what time it is for next week yet. But if it cuts into our show time, we're going to be out of here early. You can guarantee.
What did you guys think about that horrendous undercard for AJ versus Povetkin?
It had the potential, but like I said, I was waiting to see Okoli. I was waiting to see him, and that fight was a big disappointment.
Potential for what?
To be a good undercard.
Good fight.
Entertaining. At least entertaining.
Did you miss Okoli's last fight? Are you dreaming? Did you miss Okoli's last fight?
No, it's a good prospect. Very good prospect.
The only other good fight.
The card was worse. Yesterday's or Canelo Triple G's.
Oh, yesterday. I didn't know, man. Come on. Seriously, dude? You didn't like Canelo? You didn't like Triple G's undercard?
Virgil Ortiz and fucking Jamie Munguia provided way more action than the bums that were on the card last night. You
didn't think that was an action-packed undercard, though, Robert?
No, I didn't like the undercard because all the fights ended early, man. And
well, so what?
Yeah, but they were exciting though.
Yeah, they were exciting though.
Himself for 90 minutes.
Wait, that's not. But you know what? That's not what we're talking about though. You're talking about the undercard, not the fact that they didn't have time managed.
You know what's crazy? I was telling Jason this. The only other fight on that undercard, in that Joshua undercard that I was looking forward to was the Luke Campbell Mendy fight, right? But that fight ended up turning out to be kind of a one-sided, boring matchup.
I was surprised it was so one-sided. Yeah,
I thought it was going to be entertaining, but it wasn't. So that undercard was very underwhelming. A very underwhelming undercard.
Yeah, very much. And I didn't.
That's Eddie Hearn's specialty. That's Eddie's specialty. Underwhelming undercards.
No.
Speciality.
What was do you guys remember the AJ versus Parker undercard? Do you remember what fights were there on there? I don't remember anything on the.
No, I don't.
I don't know.
No, I don't either.
But the chances are, if you ask me, but honestly, if you ask me about the undercard for Canelo Triple G in a few months, I probably won't remember it either. And I thought that was
Virgil Ortiz and Munguia are probably the future of Golden Boy. Those are the best prospects on Golden Boy. Not Ryan Garcia. He's fucking trash. they need to start pushing Virgil Ortiz way more. Like he needs to get way more shine.
I'll tell you what, Munguia's got Munguia's got he's got some fights to go, in the sense that he's not, he's not ready for big fights right now.
No, I like what I see out of him, but it's too early to put him in anybody.
I think he is, Eric. I'm not too impressed by the 154-pound Charlo. Like he's not fucking special or anything. I mean, he would take some punishment, but I wouldn't be surprised if he beats Charlo right now. Like literally, if he fought Charlo in 2 fights, I would not be surprised if Munguia beats him. Charlo, the 154 brother, he does not impress me at all. He's fucking average.
Wow.
The 160 guy, he's a lot better, but Munguia, he's as good as he's gonna get. He's got a Mexican trainer that's not that great, and if he doesn't change his trainer, he's gonna stay the same. He's got the guy that used to train Abner Mars at the beginning of his career when he got knocked out by Johnny Gonzalez.
Who? So Alcazar, Robert Alcazar, isn't it? Robert Alcazar training him, right? Is Alcazar training him?
Robert Alcazar.
Yeah.
He used to train Mars also, but
he used to train De La Hoya.
He's gonna tighten up his fucking offense.
He trained Oscar too.
Yeah. He's a good trainer.
Somebody that's gonna tighten up his offense. He needs somebody that's going to tighten up his offense. He fights too wide. His punches are too fucking wide. Like that's the only problem I see. But I like Munguia.
Yeah.
And I like Virgil Ortiz. Those are the 2 guys I need to watch. And Teofimo Lopez also. That kid's also pretty good.
Yeah.
His dad's a fucking idiot, but he's special. And I think I also heard that Tank Mars and Leo Santa Cruz and Gabe might not happen on that card. I heard that Thurman and Jared Hurd might fight in tune-ups on that card, so that's also a possibility because they need to get 4 or 5 guys out. So it could be that Leo and Tank and Mars, or it could be Jared Hurd and Thurman both in tune-ups. So what do you guys think? What's more likely?
Well, I'd rather. I know what we'd rather have. You know what I mean? I'd rather have at least one more big fight on there. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, if Heyman was smart, and he is. He
has to put Mexicans. He has to put Mexicans there because I don't see Thurman and Hurd selling too many tickets in LA. I mean, they might sell.
If you're gonna have a California, you gotta have Mexicans on the card.
It's going to be Richard Shepard running it, so I'm sure he wants the Mexicans. Richard Shepard is going to promote that. I'm pretty sure.
That's all there is to it.
Yeah, I would like to see, like I said, Gary Russell on there and everything like that. That's what I would like to see. And I would like to see those fights, the big fights. And make it, because that could be, he's got the stable in there to rival like Don King's old pay-per-views. You remember those? Like the Revenge of the Rematches and stuff.
I certainly do.
Yeah, and if they're only going to do 2 pay-per-views a year, this is a great way to stack it,
For sure. Especially kick it off like that, like he did with the
another thing, they should make all pay-per-views, somebody said in the chat, like $55, $60, because that just looks and sounds more like tempting. If you see $75, you're not really tempted to buy that. If you $55, $60 max, that would sell. I think you could sell probably 100K more pay-per-views just by making it.
The cheaper the better, I say.
Yeah, I mean, and this is, I think it's awesome.
These guys aren't making that much money.
Yeah, I think that would be awesome.
All right, guys.
So, all right, man.
See you later.
We'll talk to you soon.
Peace.
Jason with the call. All right, area code 805. 805. You're live.
Hey guys, what's up?
Hey, what's happening?
Nothing much. As far as the card last night, I was basically predicting that I felt like Joshua was going to get Povetkin out of there in about 8, and I was pretty close. He ended up getting him out of there in the 7th round. It is a little concerning that you see a guy who's basically about 4 inches smaller being able to hit him so easily from the outside, and also able to leap in and hit him with hooks and uppercuts and right hands from the outside. That's the part that I found a little surprising, because I didn't think that Joshua fought tall like he should have. I thought he was leaning in far too much for a guy who was a lot taller, and he made himself almost Povetkin size, and he allowed Povetkin to have an easier target for him to hit. And that's kind of what happened in the first couple of rounds, where Povetkin landed some hooks and uppercuts and some of the right hands. But they definitely need to work on him being able to keep his left hand up to closer to his chin, because he's wide open for that right hand. And if he fights, Wilder, that's all he's going to need, is just he's going to try to land one of those right hands, and it might be over, a lot sooner than later. But I have to give him credit. He took the shots for the most part very well that he got hit with. He only got rocked the one time I think it was the 2nd round, and after that he was able to kind of absorb the shots a little bit better. And then once he started landing his shots on Povetkin, it was pretty much good night. I have to give Povetkin a lot of credit. After he got dropped the first time, I didn't think he was going to get up, but for him to be able to get up and get up on his own accord was pretty impressive. But good for Joshua that he was able to put him away and not let him get his feet back under him. You guys were talking about the fight, the Wilder Fury fight. I definitely hope that they do put that fight at Staples Center, because putting it in Vegas, I really don't know who's going to go watch it at the Mandalay Bay. That's not exactly a huge venue that's used anymore.
Nacho, if they put it at Staples, will you buy tickets?
Yeah, that will definitely be, especially with the rumors about them putting the Gervonta Davis and Abner Mares, and I forgot what the other fight was that they were talking about putting also on the undercard, because it sounded like those three fights would definitely be worth going to if they do put it at, if they put it at Staples. I will most definitely be going to that fight for sure. As far as the Campbell Mendy fight, I was looking forward to it just like you guys were. I thought the first fight was entertaining, and I thought the second fight would be very similar, but Campbell basically went safety first that whole fight last night. He basically just stood and tried to box from the outside the entire time, and Mendy's corner didn't really do anything to make an adjustment. They basically just had him going forward and trying to block his shots while trying to, occasionally hit him with, 1-2s, which was surprising, because you would have seen after the first 3-4 rounds that Campbell was not going to engage on the inside. And for Mendy and his team not to try to make the adjustment of telling him to cut the ring off and basically having to force him to, stand his ground a little bit more and fight, I was surprised that they didn't do that. You give Campbell credit for boxing Mendy, but yeah, it was kind of a dud, to be honest. I expected more from that fight, so it was kind of a dud. And then the other fight, the Okoli-Askin fight, there wasn't a whole lot of action in that fight either. A lot of holding and mauling. It was just tough to watch.
What were your thoughts? Let me jump in here. Hey, Nacho, let me jump in here real quick. What were your thoughts on Okoli?
I mean, he's a decent fighter, but I really don't understand how some of these guys who are Olympians and have all this amateur experience, I don't understand how they don't know how to fight on the inside. I just
a lot of guys don't
have all this amateur experience and don't know how to fight on the inside. That's really hard to believe. And a guy like Okoli, you could see it. Like, he just wants to stand on the outside and basically fight from the outside, and he has no semblance of an inside game whatsoever. So I don't know. I mean, he's a good prospect, but he's tough to watch. Honestly, the last couple of fights have been kind of hard to watch. So it'll be interesting to see how the matchmaking goes as far as his development. Because I mean, you've already got him winning British titles. The next step up is European, and then eventually world titles. So hopefully they can, add some wrinkles to his game, at least give him some semblance of an inside game. But yeah, that guy's tough to watch, to be honest.
Now, did you have trouble watching the fights on DAZN, or did you watch it elsewhere?
No, I watched it elsewhere because I just figured that with everybody signing up for the 1 month free subscription, I figured it was going to be a whole lot of traffic and a whole lot of people trying to get on. So I just ended up watching it somewhere else.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys got to see right now that you guys had Jason on. Maybe you guys can ask him when he comes back on next week. There was a quote that Bob Arum told Dan Rayfield about he would put his two Ukrainian welterweights, Kavalishkas and Alexander Povetkin. He would put them up against any of the guys in the PBC welterweight division, with the exception of Errol Spence. And Arum said that he would gladly put those two guys in there against anybody else that's on the PBC roster, and Al Heyman doesn't have to pay them at all. That Bob Arum would be the one in charge of paying their purse. So win or lose, Heyman doesn't have to pay them anything.
Wow.
And I thought that was pretty interesting. I was like, wow. I was like, talk about being confident in your guys.
I think the Machine has some work to do after his last fight, so I don't know if I'd be putting him in against anybody important quite yet.
You don't think the Machine could give Danny Garcia some problems, though?
No, I think he could, but after his last performance, I think he needs to work on some things. Don't you agree?
Yeah, but at this point, the guy, he's got like almost 20 fights. Yeah. I don't really think there's a whole hell of a lot more you can really do to his development,
Well, so, you might have a point there.
Yeah, they've given him a lot of fights already, so I don't really think there's much more you can add to his repertoire at this point.
I don't know. Just the last time he was on ESPN, he didn't look as good as he should have.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. I watched that fight, and but I give Arum credit though. The fact that he's willing to throw his guys in there against anybody outside of Spence on the PBC side of the street, and he's basically telling Heyman, you don't even have to pay them.
Well, maybe the Machine can put away Broner.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that. So.
And that would really take care of our train wreck champion.
And also, I don't know, you guys. I didn't hear you guys talk about the Showbox card on Friday night. A couple of the fights on there were good, but the main event was pretty interesting. The Foster kid outclassed John Fernandez, and John Fernandez was kind of an up and coming guy.
Yeah, I thought that card left a little to be desired. I was very disappointed in the way most of that card turned out, and I think Fernandez, they tried to pump him up too fast, and Foster went in there and did what he was supposed to do. It'll be interesting to see this Friday how Devin Haney handles Burgos, because they're talking Haney up like he's the next big thing, and we'll see if he is.
Honestly, Robbie, I think that fight is tailor-made for Haney, and the reason I say that is because Burgos is basically a small super featherweight, and they're asking him to jump up to 135 to fight a kid in Haney who's basically been at 35 his whole career, and he's definitely going to be the bigger guy in the ring. So I think the only reason why they're doing that, though, Nacho, is to put a name on this kid's record. And if you want to put a name on the kid's record, you should get a name in the same division as he is. Why make somebody move up? Well, because they're trying to preserve his record. That's all it is. It's just a damn matchmaking, especially with the kid being associated with Mayweather. You know that Mayweather had his fingerprints all over the matchmaking for this fight. Oh, I'm sure Floyd had his fingerprints all over lots of things having to do with this. Exactly. So there's no way they were going to put him in there with a legitimate guy who's that lightweight right now, Robbie. The kid is talented, and you could see it in his last fight after he beat Menard. But is he ready for a top 15, top 20 lightweight right now? Honestly, I don't think he is. Maybe not. But I don't know. You might be right. You might be right about it. The whole thing being set up and tailor made and all that jazz. But that's in a way that's kind of disappointing. If that's what this turns out to be. To be honest, I honestly feel that's what it's gonna be because, like I said, Burgos is not a 35er. He's basically a guy who's a super featherweight being asked to move up. I mean, I'm sure the payday is what probably got him to accept the fight, but I just don't see Burgos. I don't see Burgos having enough to beat this kid. This kid's the bigger guy, and he's been at 35 his whole life or his whole career, and I just have a feeling that, like I said, this is a setup. If they really wanted to test him, they could have put him in there against somebody who was a top 25, top 30 lightweight, but instead they brought up a smaller guy with a name, like you said, Robbie. So I think what we're going to see is thinking he's gonna outclass Burgos, and he probably wins a easy unanimous decision.
You're probably right.
As far as the other card you guys were talking about, the Molina Ortiz, I agree with you on that one, Robbie. That fight is basically one guy who has nothing left in Victor Ortiz, and you got another guy who has barely, like maybe a quarter of tank in John Molina.
Well,
and
you know, I hate fights like this because what does it really prove? Like I said, it's loser leaves town. If you win this kind of fight, what do you get out of it? A chance to be destroyed by somebody else? I mean,
wow.
I just don't see the point of it.
You're so rude.
But it's going to fill up our TV on a Sunday night, and we might have a shorter show because of it. And, you know, that's okay, I guess, too.
To be honest, the only thing I'm looking forward to on that card is to see how the British, heavyweight that's with Abel Sanchez, Joe Joyce, they're going to show him apparently on this card. So I want to see what he looks like because, I mean, I've seen him fight a couple times already, and the guy's got talent, but he's kind of, he's up there in age, and they don't really have a whole lot of time to be wasting on his career. So I think they're going to have to move him as fast as they can. So I want to see what he looks like with Abel in his corner. So then if I think the card is on at 6 o'clock next week, or it might be 5:30. So I assume you guys will have a shorter show next week.
Yeah, I think that's what'll happen. I'm not sure what time it'll be on, but if it's 6 o'clock, it'll definitely be a shorter show, wouldn't you think, Eric?
I don't know. I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow, guys. I have no idea.
Yeah, really,
I don't think that far ahead. You know that, Nacho. I mean, you've listened to the show for quite a while now. You know that I don't think that far ahead. Why are you putting this kind of pressure on me, Nacho? Why do you call up here and put this type of pressure on me? That's what I want to know.
Wait, Robbie and Beeb are part of the show. Why is all the pressure falling on your shoulders, Eric?
Everything. You know why, Nacho? You know why it falls on? Because I'm the champ, Nacho. That's why. If you look at your screen right now, you see the belt. Okay. I'm the champ. So that's why it falls squarely on my shoulders.
You're the Canelo of Ringside Reporter, Eric?
That's me. That's me. We celebrate Mexican Independence Day around here, son.
I'm Spike O'Sullivan.
All right, guys, that's all I got. Talk to you
all
guys
right, we'll see you next week.
All right, man.
All right, see you.
Also, too,
Popadinsky.
If soda Popadinsky, I guess that makes you Glass Joe, huh? All right. So, also, too, listen, guys. Again, man, if you like what we're doing, if we're entertaining to you, if you like us, remember, give us a thumbs up on the video, man. Give us a thumbs up. We're at 26. Let's try to get to 30. Why not? Give us a thumbs up. Also, too, go subscribe to us on iTunes, Ringside Reporter on iTunes. Subscribe to Beating the Odds with Beeb, man, and keep us going. If for no other reason, just to pat us on the back, because we like that, all right? We never ask you for any money. You'll never see us with a tin cup saying, hey, give us money, give us money. Now, listen, if you want to throw money our way, I mean, that's the way it goes. I mean, hey, I'm not going to say no. I mean, who am I to say?
All your checks will be tax deductible.
There you go.
Oh, that's right. Just like a telethon, you know.
It'll be put to good use. Trust me.
Jason wants to call back in. Should we let Jason call back in? I don't know.
Let him call back in.
The guy has
next week.
I don't want him to cry.
I'm gonna
let him call back in.
I'm gonna leave this to Robert. Robert, it's your decision and your decision alone.
No, next week, man. That's how it is.
All right. Well, he's on the line now, so let's go through the calls, and we got some other news, and Jason, we'll let you on at the end. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll let you back in, Jason. Hang on. We'll let you back in.
Area code 480. You're live.
It's a new one.
I believe that's Brandon.
Is that Brandon in Phoenix?
What's up, fellas? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we got you.
All right, cool. Hey, man, it was a good weekend of fights. I'm gonna start with the app before I get into the fight itself.
Tell the truth about it too, please.
Pretty decently. When I first had it on, it was the stream kept cracking on me, like it was going in and going out.
but probably after for the whole undercard, the lightweight fight. I'm blanking on the name right now.
Campbell.
The Campbell fight, yeah. For that fight, it was smooth, and then for the AJ fight, it was smooth except one time it stopped on me, but it was just like a real quick like blip. But other than that, it worked out pretty smoothly. Now I ran it from on my Android TV because my TV has the Play Store built into it, so I just downloaded it right there and ran it. So, for the app, I give it maybe like a C+, B-. It was an okay experience. Hopefully it'll get better and just more consistent. As far as the fight goes, I thought that AJ did well. I mean, he had troubles in the beginning of the fight, but I think that Povetkin provides some awkward angles that nobody else in the heavyweight division is going to give him, So I think I thought he did well for himself. I liked the way he was throwing the jab to the body. I liked the way he was coming back up top with the jab, and I think that he's beginning to feel the pressure of being the whole face of UK boxing and these huge events and everything like that. Because when he first gets into the ring now, he looks a lot tighter than he did in some of those fights when he was just fighting in the O2 arena. Do you guys think that too?
Well, yeah, especially for the Klitschko fight, he looked at the very beginning like, what have I got myself into? Remember that?
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
The Klitschko fight, he came out maybe a little bit better because maybe just because Klitschko started so slow.
Right.
You know what I mean? In the first fight, in their fight, but I don't. Maybe he was more hyped up for it. I don't know. He just seems like a lot more tentative, and it almost seems like once he gets hit a couple of times, he kind of relaxes, focuses, and starts to let it hang out a little bit more.
Yeah, but against a guy like Wilder, Brandon, you can't do that because if all it takes is one punch from him and you go to sleep. So.
You know what? You're right. I mean, Wilder's got gas. I mean, you can say anything you want to say about him, but the man's got the gas. And,
for sure.
But you know what? This is one thing I will say about Wilder and the way that it seems like everybody reviews AJ's fights now. It's like, when I look back at Wilder's fights, I mean, it's not like all of his performances were spotless performances. So
right.
When people nitpick like the Joseph Parker fight, this fight, the Takam fight and stuff like that. Like, I mean, do people remember that Wilder was probably down on the cards against the Polish guy? But that he knocked out. What was that guy's name?
Arthur Spiltzka.
Arthur Spiltzka. Yep.
Yeah.
So sad. So sad. I couldn't remember his name either. Isn't that horrible?
He's a good fighter, but in all fairness, but you know what?
Arthur Spiltzka.
So Arthur Spiltzka was a good fighter. Robert, you remember me telling you that when that fight was signed, everybody was kind of.
Yeah, you told me that.
I said that is going to be a good fight. He's a solid fighter, man.
He's solid, yeah.
Yeah.
And Gerald Washington was beating him 4 rounds to nothing going into the 5th.
But what I'm saying is Spilka on the same level as Povetkin?
No.
He's not on that level. I mean, I think maybe I don't even really think it's debate. Maybe, but could you say Spilka's on the same level as Takam? Or has Spilka faced the competition that Takam has faced in his career?
That I don't know.
I don't
probably give Takam the slight edge, maybe.
Well, I think Takam's resume is a lot better than Spilka's. I mean, the people
that
Takam's lost to are all people who are been on top of this fight. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
I mean, Takam had a tough fight with Parker.
Yep.
So I mean, all I'm saying is this: I mean, even the DeHopis fight. I remember the mouth that Wilder had under his eye in the DeHopis fight because DeHopis kept popping with the jab. I mean, so I mean, but everybody knows both these fighters are flawed. But
exactly. Both guys get touched. Both guys get touched.
Yeah. You know what I mean? But now we have this revisionist history about what Wilder's done as far as like his performances. Like he's had shaky performances too, and in my opinion, against less competition. But I can't wait to see that fight. I don't really know what's gonna happen next. The business behind it all and everything like that. But if they don't fight next, because I do understand that there's a rematch with the Fury fight, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Both sides.
Yes.
Okay. Now, who would you guys see Joshua in with next if the Wilder Fury fight just can't happen for whatever reason?
Dillian White.
Dillian
White.
Dillian White, unfortunately.
Dillian White, yeah. It's going to be Dillian White.
Would you rather see Dillian than Big Baby?
Yeah, I don't hate that. I mean, I don't hate that fight.
I don't hate that fight.
What, Dillian or Big Baby?
No,
Big Baby.
No, Dillian and Big Baby.
Yeah.
It'd be great if they fought each other. Actually, you know.
Yeah, that would be. You know what? The one thing I can't take away from Dillian White is that he's earned the right, I think, for a world championship fight. You know what I mean?
You can't take that away.
He's done it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With the Parker win and what he's done, he's earned the right to have a championship.
That was a good win, that Parker win. That was a real good win.
Either one of the two of these guys, but he's earned the right to have a shot.
No, and remember, he's already lost to Joshua, so it'd be the same routine all over again.
Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for you guys.
Okay.
I don't think anything big is happening next weekend, but y'all have a good one, all right, man?
All right, man. Thank you so much, Brandon.
All right, man.
All right, let's see here. Area code 760.
Hey, Brian, Brian was going to call. We're talking heavyweights. What's up, Brian?
There you go.
What it do, fellas? You already know.
Brian. Brian.
I went ahead and downloaded that the zone now. You know, I've been used to doing my stuff bootleg, but I went ahead and did it legit and downloaded it yesterday. I don't really know how to feel about it, but
did it cut out on you? Was it? Yeah, did it cut out on you and stuff?
Now when I was watching the main event, because that's pretty much the only fight I was really tuned into.
Okay.
The other fights was like boring. You know, I mean, I watched a little bit of them, but I did, it wasn't very entertaining, But hey, I had to tell Beeb you was right, man. Povetkin came with it.
Yeah.
That was a good fight.
Yeah, he sure did.
That was a good fight.
I said that was the best version of Povetkin you'll see. That right there was the best version.
Yeah, that was a good fight, man.
Ever see?
That was a good fight.
He came with it. Yeah.
Yeah. He came with it, but when I was watching him train, he was training against a bunch of those prospects, and that's what kind of raised my interest. He was training with them guys, so he was really going in trying to go for it, but that made Anthony Joshua, him and Wilder, man, both of these guys, man, is crazy, man, because they'll have you sitting on the edge of your seat. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know, to me it looked like Joshua was getting rocked. That looked how it looked to you guys. No,
I thought he definitely got rocked. Yeah, I thought he definitely got rocked. I thought he got hurt in that first, not hurt necessarily, but definitely rocked in that first round. He definitely got his attention in that first round.
Yeah.
And also too in that third round, I believe. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he kind of looked like kind of confused, on how to really time him, because he kept dipping and going up under Joshua using his legs and then coming with those hooks was kind of dangerous.
I don't
He's
think
crafty.
him to be that fast either. I thought Povetkin looked very fast. I don't think AJ was expecting that. He was expecting, I think if you looked at Povetkin at the weigh-in and you saw what he did at the fight, there's no way you thought he did that. I mean, you looked at him and thought he was going to be slow and maybe awkward or whatever, but not what you saw there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was throwing
That's
them.
a good point.
It was vicious. It was kind of like Tyson throwing a hook because he was throwing them hard, with some bad intentions on it.
Yeah.
But I knew after a while because he kept doing the same thing, though. He kept getting repetitive in his attack, and I knew it was going to be a matter of time. Joshua was going to catch him, but it didn't look, it just looked like, Joshua was just having a hard time trying to time him, you know what I'm saying, trying to get in on him. But that was a good fight, man. That was I got to say, that was a really good performance, That was a good performance to knock him out, so
nobody else had ever done that to Povetkin, so that's a feather in his cap.
It was nice. Him and Wilder, man, they be having me nervous, but these guys, they got some hearts, man. They got hearts. And see me, I'm like, I'm not into comparing these resumes because to me, everybody they beat is losers. They got an L. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna compare this person with this person. I think it's just a good fight waiting to happen, man. I can't wait to see it. You know,
yeah, now,
Wilder,
now, Brian, since you live in Southern California, if the fight's at Staples Center with Wilder and Fury, you gonna go?
Oh man, I'm so excited. You know I'm rolling at that. I got to go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I didn't think they was gonna do that. I thought it was gonna be in Vegas. You know, they said between LA and Vegas, so it's official then, huh?
Yeah, no, it definitely looks like Staples Center's the place because Barclays is full and Vegas is busy. So.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Bring some good boxing to LA. You know, bring it this way. You know, that'll be cool. But hey, what you guys think about the whole media? You know, the tour with Tyson Fury. It's gonna be crazy. This kind of hype that's gonna be in it, huh?
Oh my God, their news conferences are going to be off the charts between those two. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be great, man.
This gonna be a tough challenge for Wilder, man. It's, you know, the Fury is tricky, man. It's gonna be really tough, you know. But Wilder gonna figure out a way to win, and then we'll set up this Joshua fight. Then I can take that WWF belt off of Eric over here.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, that's your championship belt right there. I'll take that belt.
There you go.
Look, man, when they sign for this fight and when Wilder ends him, you better send me that belt in the mail. WWF. Supposed to be a boxing belt. You got WWF, but I'll take it.
You know the funny part? The funny part is like it's my son's belt. And he's like a big WWE fan, so that's all I got. You know, it's like
yeah, right.
Oh my! I'm telling you, I'm taking that, man. Hopefully it happens though, because at first it was looking like, you know, me and you was never gonna make this belt because they ain't never gonna make.
Well, Brian, what do you think of the Wilder Fury fight? You think it's a good fight?
Yeah, I think it's perfect. You know, because everybody's saying Fury not ready and stuff, but I think Fury he's a good boxer, man. That guy got some crazy movement, and when they talk about his size when he fought Klitschko, I'm like, that was his in shape size right here. You know, because what is in shape for him? I don't get it. You know, I've seen some old tapes of Fury when he was skinny. You know, I don't think he's gonna get like that. You know what I'm saying? But what is his ideal weight?
I don't know. Beeb, you're the Tyson Fury guy. What would be his ideal weight?
Probably 247.
Yeah.
240, 245.
I'll go along with that.
Okay.
How big was he in the last fight?
257, I think.
Yeah, something around there.
Yeah. 257, I think.
Yeah.
256.
Yeah, I mean,
he's close. He's close to his optimum weight. I think he was like 9 pounds. He weighed 247 for 246 for Klitschko or something like that. Yeah, and he was like, yeah, he was close, like 9 or 10 pounds away.
I mean, he's not like a little dude. I mean, but
he's 6'9", dude. 6'9". He's a big dude, man.
No, he's gonna have the same kind of skills.
The one thing that concerns me about Fury, though, yes, he's got the 85-inch reach. Yes, he's 6'9", but does he punch hard enough to keep Wilder off of him so he can use his boxing skills?
See, that's the difference. What I like with Joshua and Wilder is these guys don't have the type of skills Tyson Fury do, but they got the punch. So you seen what happened last night. You know what I'm saying? And you see what happened with Wilder and Ortiz. You know, they can always count on that punch. Tyson Fury, to think he's gonna take Wilder 12 rounds, you know, that's where it's like, I don't know. You know, he could probably give Wilder trouble, but to avoid that punch for 12 rounds, you know, that's going to be difficult task right there, you know. But these guys, both of those guys got you know, good hearts. You know what I'm saying? Tyson Fury, Wilder, they both got good hearts on them, and that's why I think it's going to be a good fight, regardless of the outcome. We the winners once again. The fans, we get a good fight. You know, hopefully it's a good fight. You know, but at least they trying to make a good fight out of you know, in boxing right now. You know, I don't think it's going to be a loser in this fight right here, regardless. You know?
Yep. No, I think it's going to be one definitely worth watching. That's for sure.
Yeah. Hey, what about Pacquiao and Mayweather? So this is official.
It's not official yet.
No, it's not official yet. What we've heard is Floyd wants a tune-up.
Oh my God!
Floyd wants a tune-up. Yeah, get this. So Floyd wants a tune-up in Japan. He wants a tune-up, I guess, and I'm here in Japan first. He wants a tune-up before he fights Pacquiao again. You know, whatever, man. I don't know.
Does he need money, Eric? Eric, does he need money?
It's funny that you mentioned that. Yes, but it's funny that you mentioned that. Maxim just did an article. Maxim did an article on Floyd and said that the rumor is, and they don't have any like hard and fast proof on it, but this is Maxim doing. This is a national magazine and everything like that. They're, you know, they got credible people there. The rumor is that Floyd Mayweather lost $50 million last year on gambling debts alone. $50 million. You let that
sit.
Do
you know?
Let that sit for a minute.
Do you know anything? Any winnings over 5,000, you have to pay 25% tax on.
Wow, that I did not know. That I did not.
Yes, I'm right, Robbie?
He wasn't coming back. He wasn't coming back to boxing. Now he's coming back.
Well, Brian, the problem you got with a guy like him, he runs through money like it's water.
He's spending, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know.
Let's see if Jason's in the chat saying Floyd don't need the cash.
Yeah, Vegas. I don't believe Vegas has taxes, but I still think you have to pay something.
No, they don't have a state tax, Eric. Right. They don't have a state tax. They have an income tax.
Right.
Wrong again, goofball, Jason. Wrong again. They don't have a state tax. Every state has a tax.
Because I know, like a lot of businesses will set up in Vegas because of that reason.
Right.
They don't have a state tax. They have a federal tax.
But you got to pay federal.
Of course you do. You think Uncle Sam's going to let you skate without having to pay taxes?
Somebody's
fake news. No fake news. No taxes in Vegas. Yeah, they pay zero taxes. What an idiot!
That's why Pacquiao stayed out of the country, because he owes the IRS. You know.
I just said Vegas has no state tax, Jason. They have a federal tax, though, goofball.
Yeah.
Well, and it's
horrible. I feel so bad for them.
They doing it again. It's retarded, you know. But anyway, talking about the real fight, besides Wilder and Tyson Fury, what else they got lined up? I'm hearing about Canelo fighting again in December.
Well, it looks like he's going to fight David Lemieux, Brian, in December.
Oh, okay. I guess that'll be entertaining, you know, if that's what they going for.
As long as it's on regular HBO, it'll be entertaining. If it's pay-per-view, I'm not going to be entertained because I won't pay for that.
Yeah, but that's not the type of fight I'm looking for. You already know I'm not looking for that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You know what's crazy is I'll be like, okay, you know, I guess I'm not considered to be a hardcore fan because I'm just a regular person that want to watch the good fights, you know. But the good fights, the big fights, make sense most of the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you.
But to me, it's been a lot of good fights this year. You know, good matchups. That's what I'll be looking for, is at least even matchups. You know, and I think it's been a lot this year, man.
Yeah,
a lot. It's been 3 weekends in a row of good fights to me. You know, Sean Porter, Triple G, and then the Anthony Joshua. But that Anthony Joshua fight was like that fight. That whole undercard was like a movie like the Titanic. know, like the Titanic born. You know how it was born and then it just sunk, and that gave it a little bit of excitement.
Right.
Yeah. I was, you know, if it wouldn't have been exciting in that last fight, Beeb, I would have been disappointed with your prediction.
I know.
You know, I was counting on that last.
I know.
But yeah.
Well, I thought it was going to go longer than 7, though.
All right. Well, thank you, Brian. Thank you.
Okay, you guys take it easy. Thanks.
See you later.
All right, Brian. Be good.
All right. Let's see here. We have 610. We have 2 610s on the line.
Oh, that's new.
I'm sorry,
Pennsylvania.
610. You're live.
Can I lay the pipe down? Do what?
Can you lay the pipe
Put
down?
my dick in your ass.
Why?
Uh-oh.
Do we have a heckler? Oh my
yeah,
God, this is
awesome.
That is so great. We have a heckler for the first time.
Wow.
Hello? He's gone. That sucks.
Wow.
We had a heckler for the first time.
Oh, that was awesome.
One of those calls in a
I
while.
know.
Wow.
We got to
That
hate
was awesome. The LGBT community kicking in, baby.
Oh, hey, we love everybody. Hey,
We love everybody, man.
Love everybody. We don't discriminate.
Not against that, you know.
Don't discriminate. The guy wants to lay some pipe down. I'm all for it.
Let him lay pipe
Not
down.
on me.
Just not on my tracks, but someone else's is fine. Lay pipe down. Jason? Jason?
Yeah, is Jason a
Jason around?
Yeah. Right, exactly.
Okay.
Wow. Well, hey, to each his own. To each his own, buddy.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah.
All good around here.
Next.
Oh, wow. Who is next? Who is next?
From this day, you'll be my new fool.
Georgie, I'm going to give you the pie right now. Ready? Here it is. Here's the pie.
He's going to do it. Oh.
Here's the mini pie. Here's a little baby pie right here. Oh, horrible.
And let it be known that Baby's a man of his word.
Oh, it's horrible.
Well, Georgie, you're going to let him get away with that?
That's such denigration.
Getting away with murder here is you, Eric. How long you gonna be?
Are you serious? You're gonna let him get away with that?
On me.
That
is such denigration.
Oh, that's terrible.
Now I know how people feel that do X-rated movies. Did I say that?
Demanding investigation.
Oh, that's horrible. That's horrible.
So what's up with that fight? What's up with that fight yesterday? That shit was exciting. I saw, I'm gonna tell you straight up, and I'm a big, shout out to the UK first and foremost. Shout out to the UK. And I'm a big AJ, protector, supporter, whatever you want to label me. I'm on that side.
All right.
But I see some holes on his game.
Been telling you.
He got to sharpen up, brother. Because, he got to play more defense. Like Beeb said, that job is, really questionable. He don't got a lazy job. Because you're not big, you ain't got no lazy job. But a little more technique and more weight behind the sign. Definitely. He got to keep, while they are baby something,
When I say he has a lazy jab, Georgie, you know what I mean? I mean when he throws it, he leaves it out there too long and doesn't pull it back fast enough. That's what we call like a lazy jab in the gym. Snap it back, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a little speed deficiency that he has. And his right hand too, sometimes he leaves his right hand too low too.
Yeah, man.
To remind himself, I noticed that he remind himself, let me put this shit back on my shin because this motherfucker can crack.
Yeah.
But he get lazy on his defense, definitely. His defense, he got flaws, bro. And that hook that catch him, that like you say, that was timed perfectly on the inside. You know what I'm saying? His guard was up, but it was it was sort of like the same hook that Michael Garcia landed that put fucking Eric's boy on the floor. Am I right or wrong? It was sort of the same punch. And but AJ took a well and came back, you know, and knocked this guy out. So I mean, listen, you gotta stop hating AJ. AJ be putting people down on the fucking campus too. The same Wilder be doing it. So they both got that fucking power factor. So a lot of people see like Wilder's power is more deadly. I don't know about that.
But Georgie, I think Wilder's power is more deadly because one punch normally puts people away. You've never seen Joshua do that to anybody with one punch.
AJ supporters, Robbie, AJ supporters will rise to the point of, okay, let's examine these people's records. And that's when you guys try to, if you guys don't try to demonize AJ's record compared to Wilder's 45 to 22, I mean, how many, 22, how many he got now? How many AJ got?
22 fights.
21 knockouts.
22, okay. So if you try to compare the same opposition, it's not even the same. Come on, brother. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Wilder be putting people on the campus, but look at what? Who is it that he's putting on the campus like that? It's not the same type of people that, I mean, AJ got some bombs there too. Everybody does.
Yeah.
But for 22 fights, come on, brother. It's like it's not a fair comparison. So in power shit, you gotta give him the same equal. You think so? Wow. Eric, help me here, brother. What's going on?
All I can say to you, son, is I'm the champ. That's where it is. That's where it is, Georgie.
Title town.
Georgie,
listen, bro.
wants a shot.
I think I'm making a fair. I'm making a fair argument here about you cannot compare these fucking records when you're talking about the power. Baby, it's not the same. What? I'm telling you, Wilder will not knock out Parker either. Even if White did what he did.
We don't. Okay, here's the deal. We don't know because I'll tell you. Here's the deal, though.
Georgie, let me ask you.
We don't know because Wilder doesn't fight. We don't know because Wilder doesn't fight the type of competition that Anthony Joshua does. Joshua has fought better competition. That's just the way it is.
So, I don't know, brother. On my book, they got the same type of power, and everything can go down when it comes to that. And while the defense is just as questionable too, this is a 50-50. This is a 50-50. Even
yeah.
Side, brother.
Yeah. Well, I was saying it was a 60-40 in favor of Joshua like about a year ago, but now I'm starting to second guess myself. You know?
What'd you say, Beeb?
I said about a year ago, I was saying this was a 60-40 fight in favor of Joshua, but now I'm starting to see some holes in Joshua, so now I tightened it back up to a 50-50. You know? But I don't know, man. Who do you favor in this fight, Eric? Joshua or Wilder? Like, who do you pick in this fight? A tough one.
Same criteria as Fury. Only Wilder. Again, Wilder has more ways. Not Wilder, but Joshua has more ways to win. He can outbox him. He's going to be able to outbox him. He's going to be able to, he can knock him out. He can outbox him. He can do whatever. Wilder has one way to win, and that's to land one right-hand shot. That's it.
And guess what? For what? Eddie said last thing I heard after the post-fight interview, he's like making sure that he put the issue of the UK being the place where the fight's going to have to be taking place of. He sort of like put that issue. He also said that he could be on the USA, but he put that shit out last. So right from the go, if that's down there, it happened last night that they had AJ ahead, right? The judges got AJ ahead. Maybe these cash cow like Canelo, these fucking only two mega stars out there ain't getting they ain't catching no airs like that. You really got to put work on them.
Well, he's got a guaranteed date in Wembley, April 13th. The question is who's going to be there with him.
But that's what I'm saying. If it is down there, right, which is everything seems it's going to be down there. If it is going to be Wilder got to drop him and knock him the fuck out. So he ain't walking out of there with no goddamn bill. Wilder, Jesus, the devil, I don't care who's going there, he ain't getting no decision. So, hey, I don't know, man. I think that's how he see win for AJ as long as he don't get caught with anything. I don't have a lot to say. I know you guys into the show. Beeb is a man of his word. Great show like always. Everybody there support. Give the thumb up because these people don't ask for anything. I'm out here. See you later.
Okay, good call, Georgie.
Good call, Georgie.
Area code 209. Robert, you recognize this one?
Philly, isn't it?
Stockton, around Stockton.
Stockton.
Area, good old California.
Stockton.
Yeah.
209, you're live.
My name's Paul, and Robbie, you hit the nail on the head. I'm sitting here in Stockton at the moment. So
there you go.
Awesome.
See? I knew that. We
Yep,
Californians, we stick together. So.
Yeah. Where are you at, Robbie?
I'm in Reading. I'm in the 530.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, you're up north. Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stockton, home of Gabriel Flores Jr. So
that's right.
Nick Diaz from Stockton, baby. Nick Diaz.
Nick and Nate Diaz from Stockton.
Of course, I'm trying to keep it boxing though, man. You know what I'm saying?
It's okay. It's okay.
But no one's Gabe Flores is the guy to watch out for. Anyway, I just want to agree with Georgie real quick. And I want to kind of talk about this real quick because I've gotten caught up in this Wilder AJ drama stuff, you know. But a while ago, I figured out it's like people have conflated AJ with Eddie Hearn because to me, I love AJ. I love watching him fight, and when he said he wanted to fight Wilder, I believed him. You know what I'm saying? I think he really wanted the $50 million, but I think it's all falling on Eddie Hearn. I think Eddie Hearn is the impediment to the fight happening, and he's the guy that I don't like. I really like watching AJ fight. I love watching Wilder fight. I like both guys. You know what I'm saying? That's why I was so disappointed the fight didn't go down because I don't know who's going to win either. And I think that they're obviously the best matchup right now. I think Fury would be better in the future, but at the same time, you know, it's like that's still a good fight. But man, with all the momentum behind Wilder and Joshua, that was such a bummer, man. And
well, now, Paul, you know that Wilder and Fury is going to happen in December, so we've got that on the table. Who do you like in that fight?
I don't know because Fury fought Sefer for Fury, and then he fought that. Who was the other guy he fought? I can't remember that guy's name.
I can't.
It doesn't matter. But I watched some of that fight again, you could tell he was trying to get rounds from that guy. And I was watching some highlights, and you could see Fury trying to throw some jabs out there. Like, come on, man, throw some punches back at me. You know what I'm saying? And that guy just seemed to be in the high guard all night and didn't want to fight back. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to tell because, and then I don't know if you guys heard, but after the fight, Fury did 3 rounds on the pads after the fight because it was such a waste of time, right? And so who knows? Who knows where Fury is? I think Fury, if he's anywhere near what he was against Klitschko, I mean, he has a definite chance. I mean, he can outbox anyone in the heavyweight division. No one else moves like he does. No one else has. I don't think they have the IQ like he does. But
and he definitely has the longest reach in boxing, 85 inches. So, you know.
Really, what's Wilder's?
That's a good question. I don't remember what his is.
82, 83.
Long too, though. But Wilder. I mean, Fury knows, and Fury's really good at fighting long too. You know, keeping that jab out there and then coming in when he wants. So it's gonna be. I'm excited, man. I'm super excited about that fight, and I'm really excited about 2019 and 2020 because I think if they do have a rematch clause, which I hope they do,
90
I want to see these
seconds.
guys fight each other multiple times. These 3 are obviously the top 3 fighters in the heavyweight division. I want to see them fight each other multiple times. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you guys think, but I want to see some trilogies or some, I want to see these 3 get after each other a few times. I don't want it to be just one fight and then they.
Hey, it sounds good. Sounds good to me.
I mean, if they're good fights, I don't want to see it just for the sake of it. But if they're good fights, I definitely want to see
60 seconds.
Like I would love to see, maybe a year from now, Canelo Triple G number 3, depending on how they do in their upcoming fights.
Totally. And you know what's funny, Robbie? I don't know how you felt, but after the first fight, I was like, man, I had no excitement for this last fight. I was like, I don't even know if I'm gonna watch it. And then I put it on, and I'm like, whoa, I could watch this 20 times in a row. That fight was Yeah, I would definitely love to see a third fight now, for sure, man.
Yeah, no, the second fight was much better in the first. So
the first was so, and they just seemed both so like, I don't know, just a weird vibe in that fight. I just don't think it could live up to the expectations, maybe, or whatever.
Right.
Real quick, guys.
10 seconds.
I do want to talk about Dillian Whyte real quick, because I'm tired of everyone bringing up this guy's name. I can't stand this guy. I think he is trash. I mean, like, whenever I watch him, it's like if he does land a punch, it's like a lucky shot. Look at where his eyes are looking at whenever he throws a punch, like down at the ground, off to the side. He has no technique. He's fought bums aside from Parker. Who's he beat? You know what I'm saying?
Well, Beeb, you're the UK guy, so try to defend Dillian Whyte here. I like what he's saying here.
Well, Dillian Whyte does have some technical flaws. I mean, he's not a prototypical technical boxer. Doesn't have great defense. He can punch. He can punch. I don't not like Dillian Whyte. I think he's dangerous, but I don't think he's as great as Eddie Hearn says he is. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I think Deontay Wilder would starch Dillian Whyte. I think Anthony Joshua would starch him in a rematch. I think Luis Ortiz would beat him. I even think Alexander Povetkin would have a shot at beating Dillian Whyte. I think I'd probably pick Alexander Povetkin over Dillian Whyte. I'll be honest.
Yeah. No. Well, look, AB. It's real obvious who Eddie is keeping him away from, right? He had him fight.
Of course, Luis Ortiz. He ain't gonna fight Luis Ortiz.
They signed Ortiz and had him fight Dave Allen instead of Dillian, because Eddie knew Dillian couldn't be in there with King Kong. You know what I'm saying? King Kong's way too still for Dillian. And then who's Dillian Whyte fought over these last few fights? He fought Robert Helenius, who was on I think they gave him a 2-week camp before, like they called him up 2 weeks before the fight because they didn't have anyone. So he had a 2-week training camp for Dillian Whyte. Gassed out. Who knows what he would have done if he didn't gas out? Then he fought Lucas Brown, who was exhausted before he even got in the ring.
Yeah, that's the truth.
And then Malcolm Tan, I just looked it up. I couldn't believe it. He fought Malcolm Tan somewhere in between there. What the heck? Obviously, Eddie doesn't believe in Dillian Whyte. You know what I'm saying? Again, this is not taking anything away from AJ, and that's what I'm saying. We need to separate AJ from Eddie Hearn and Matchroom.
The problem is, Paul, it's hard to do that since he signed a long-term contract with Eddie Hearn and Matchroom.
Well, and Eddie Hearn does all the talking too. That's another problem. Eddie Hearn's doing all the talking.
I was hoping that after that $50 million got really 80 plus with the rematch, I thought for sure I was like, man, AJ's not going to re-sign with Matchroom, because it took them a couple months before they actually announced the signing, but they had said, oh, it's a foregone conclusion. But I thought, man, doesn't he see that they cost him like $80 million? But I don't know. I think they have some sort of hold over AJ. They got him right out of the Olympics. He doesn't know any better. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, I just don't want, real quick, I just got to say one more thing about Dillian Whyte. Last night, look, first of all, I'm tired of people saying anything other than the guy ducked King Kong. He could have been, that was a WBC mandatory eliminator, and he decided to fight Parker. You know what I'm saying? He beat Parker. Okay, great. He beat Parker. But he obviously avoided King Kong, and then he wants to complain afterwards like, oh, Wilder won't fight me. It's like, dude, you had every opportunity along the way to fight guys to make yourself the mandatory for Wilder, and he even said, fight King Kong. If you beat him, I'll fight you too. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't want to do it. And last night, what does he do? He sits there and literally says on the thing, he's like, yeah, well, maybe Chisora. And he's like, yeah, I heard Fresakendo doesn't have anyone to fight now. Hey, Frez, I want to fight for the belt. I'm like, he's calling out Fresakendo.
Well, Fresakendo failed a drug test, so he won't be fighting for a while.
I thought it was Manuel Char that.
No, it wasn't Frez.
Yeah, it was Char that failed it.
Manuel Char failed the drug test, Robbie.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Okay.
But how old is Fresakendo, and when was the last time he fought?
Who cares? Yeah, I mean, you know what? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you for failing that drug test.
Yeah.
Anyway,
good call, Paul. And don't be a stranger. I know you're first timers, so don't be a stranger. Yeah. Call back.
No, I want to say I really appreciate your guys' show. You guys are my favorite boxing show because it's got a real laid back vibe, and like Georgie said, you guys don't ask for anything, and it's just I love the show, and yeah, I hope to call again in the future. So. Oh,
we appreciate that, man. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate that.
Have a good one.
You too.
All right, see ya.
Good call.
It's nice to get new people once in a while, you know.
It is, and you know what? And just to his point, Dillian Whyte was going to fight Louis Ortiz. The problem with that, and this is coming from Eddie Hearn, so take it with a grain of salt. Take it, But Eddie Hearn said that, and I remember this. Dillian Whyte already fought, and I believe this is true. Dillian Whyte already fought to become the mandatory, the mandatory contender at the WBC. And then they came in and said he has to fight again. He has to fight King Kong now to become. It doesn't make any sense. The WBC sucks too because they will make the rules as they go along, just like the WBA does.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah. All right, let's go to the news real quick, and then Jason's got a few words to say. He promises to keep it quick. I don't know what he wants to say, why he feels he has to rebut something, but hey, that's him. All right, and hey, we give everybody a fair shake over here, even people from the LGBTQ community. And don't think we don't. I was just, I was very flattered that somebody found us that attractive. That said, hey,
really,
it's almost like we're like Hollywood now. I mean. Hey, I don't get me wrong. I'd rather like a model girl call in and say, "Hey, this is a Playboy model calls in."
Let's not be too much into the Me Too here. We might have a real problem.
Just like Robert says, "Hey, he'll take anything." There you go. All right, news and rumors. As we mentioned before, Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder is official. The fight has been made for December 1st in Vegas and will take place at the Staples Center. Some sad news today. Enzo Calzaghe passed away, father and trainer of Joe Calzaghe. Enzo was a real interesting guy. He trained Joe Calzaghe throughout his career, even though he had no boxing experience. He was actually a music guy. He had no boxing experience at all, never fought in his life. Also trained, who else did he train for the title? Somebody else he trained won a title as well. But Enzo Calzaghe, it was a very big loss. So heart goes out to the family and everything like that, Joe Calzaghe and his family. So, it's a tough thing, man. Very tough. Beeb, your boy, the GOAT, son, Teddy Atlas, training Alexander for it's great that Gvozdyk decided to get serious about his training. He's hired Teddy Atlas, the GOAT.
Better get Gvozdyk.
If Badu Jack did the same, he might be champion right now. I'm just saying.
Gvozdyk is guaranteed to lose his next fight.
Proof's in the pudding, Beeb. The GOAT.
Fireman. Let's be firemen.
Super middleweight titleist David Benavidez tests positive for the sugar.
The nose candy.
The nose candy. White girl. Cocaine.
White horse.
Wow.
The white horse.
Cocaina. Tested positive for cocaine this week.
When you need it, okay?
The silver lining here, I'll tell you what, the silver lining to this whole thing is he came out on social media and owned it and then apologized for his behavior.
That's right.
Hey.
He didn't lie and say it was pixie stick.
He didn't lie.
He didn't lie.
Right. There it is. And as we mentioned, Floyd Mayweather may take a tune-up fight, possibly in Japan. Now, here's the deal. They said it may not even be against a boxer. It could be against a kickboxer, MMA fighter.
Oh, my God.
Come on.
Oh, no. What's going on here? What is going on here?
What would have been our train wreck of the week is Billy Joe Saunders put out a video of him pulling alongside a drug addict, all right? The video shows Saunders pretending to give a lady drugs. He says he'll give a lady heroin if she slaps a passerby on the street. So a passerby comes out and Saunders says, if you hit that guy in the face, go ahead and slap him because he's a pedophile. Go ahead and slap him and I will give you this drug, give you these drugs for free. She goes over there and slaps him. Saunders drives off. It's just I mean, really, wow. So he got in trouble.
I hate to say this, the UK is wonderful people, but they also have some strange ducks over there.
Yeah,
Wow.
I would say.
Whoa, Robbie. Whoa.
Char and Okendo canceled because of the positive test. Manuel Char tested positive. I don't even know what he tested positive for because, quite honestly, I didn't research it. I didn't really care. All I know is that Char tested positive.
I'm glad that fight's not happening because Fred Okendo shouldn't even be fighting, let alone, you know.
How dare you.
Jeez.
And let me tell you this, and thank you to Char for sparing us of this heavyweight, title fight, the WBA title fight. And
the WBA is a fucking idiot.
Oh, come on.
It was going to be a WBA eliminator. Imagine that.
There it is. And as we promised here, Jason. Let's see if he comes back on here. All right, Jason, what was so important?
What's going on, guys?
What was so important that we had to stop the sign-off of the show?
About those,
you had to respond to Nacho.
Jesus Christ!
Wow, goodness, this is what we brought you back on for. This is why we had to bring you back on.
Oh my gosh! Shut the fuck up.
Because Nacho wanted you to respond. He baited you like a fish.
Nacho is your arch nemesis.
Right.
If this was Street Fighter,
Russian bums fighting the PBC.
Right.
He would be Ken. He would be Ryu.
Let them go fight him for. Relax.
I know what you're talking about, Jason.
I know, but he said he would let them go fight him.
He would be Sub-Zero. He would be Scorpion. He's your arch nemesis.
Hello?
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm done blasting you. Go ahead.
Take it easy on the cook over there, Beeb. I know you're from Boston, but take it
easy. Okay, yeah. Whatever.
But listen.
Nice stereotype.
Aaron would let him go for free because Mean Machine is a bum and made like $50,000 for his last fight against that Avinasian guy. That's the guy that Peterson whooped and took his belt before he fought like Danny or Spence. So that's why he would let him go fight on PBC, get some free publicity because these guys only make like $50,000 a fight. So, does anybody really think Mean Machine would stand a chance against Porter, Danny, or Thurman? No, even Thurman would come back right now and whoop that guy. Like he has no skills whatsoever. So I don't know why guys like Nacho always hype up these Russian guys just because Steve Kim thinks they're nice people. I don't give a shit.
Look, I like Machine, but he's got some work to do.
You like him for what, Robbie? What has he done for you to like him though? What has he done?
No, I think he's a decent fighter, but he's still got work to do.
This is amazing. He called back into this.
He's not even in the top 10, right? He's not in the top 10.
I don't think so.
Oh my God, this is so funny.
Is another hype job. Gozdic got fucking hit. He got fucking wobbled and dropped by Tommy Carpenter. Imagine what Stevenson's going to do to that hype job.
How dare you?
Hype job that's been propped up by Steve.
How dare you?
Tommy Carpente's got a victory over Bad Chad Dawson. You keep forgetting that.
Who do you think you are? Teddy Atlas is training him now.
If Gozdic was a black dude from America, he would be called a bum. If he fought on PBC and a black promoter, they would call him a fucking bum. You can mark my words about that.
What's up with this? What's up with using the race here? Come on. Why do we got to bring race into this?
Get out of here.
Why do we got to bring race into this?
Hey, Tank tweeted that he's going to fight on December 1st, so I'm guessing that's the pay-per-view fight, right? December 1st?
Yeah.
He tweeted that last week.
He'll be on the undercard, you know.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But
on the undercard.
If he doesn't lose his belt on the scale again.
Maybe the Machine's going to be on the undercard. You don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we never know.
That bum doesn't qualify for undercards. He only qualifies for shitty top-rank undercards, not for PBC.
Whoa, buddy.
Also, Martin versus Konaki was a way better fight than fucking.
Look at this hostility.
Way better fight.
Very hostile. Very hostile. You're killing our mellow vibe here.
Hey, last thing, guys. Last thing.
Do your thing, Robert.
I want to share this real quick. Hold on. Last thing. This is the PBC. Hold on. This is the PBC hotline. Let me give it to you guys so you can call and leave a message. 702-522-701. That's the PBC hotline. You guys can leave us a message anytime you want. Any criticism.
What is that? Is that your personal phone number? Is that your personal phone number?
Moron, you can call and check.
Give out your phone number. What is your phone?
Is that the trap? Is that the trap phone?
Is that the trap phone?
The PBC hotline.
Give out your phone number. What is your phone number, Jason? So we can call you.
I don't have a phone, bro. I can't afford a phone. Take care.
Can't afford a phone. Told you that Told you that Mercedes-Benz in that Facebook picture was a prop.
It's not a good idea.
Told you that was a prop.
Yeah, right.
He went outside Flagship Motors and asked him if he could take a picture standing next to this car.
He just did it after hours at the lot. He went to a lot on Sunday and took pictures of it.
Probably has the tags inside his clothes and he returns them after he wears them.
Wow. All right, that'll do it for this edition of Ringside Reporter. As always, you can catch Robert on Twitter at Ringside Robert or call Ringside Robbie's Corner at 917-259-1810 and leave him a message. You can catch Joe Habib on Twitter at jhabib1 and find his YouTube channel at beatingtheoddswithbeeb.com. I'm at Ringside73 on Twitter, and we will see you next week.
All right, guys.